And we're on.
G'day.
Thanks for coming in, mate.
Cheers, Sav. Thank you very much for having me.
I've seen a lot about you. Eric's told me a lot about you. Eric's come in today for everyone. Everyone knows Eric.
Cheers, lads. Legend.
But it's Sun McKay.
Yes.
Yeah, so Eric told me about you, and then I Googled, and read heaps, and I was like, fuck, I have to talk to this bloke. And you haven't done much media at all. No.
I'm only doing it for this man.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate you coming on.
Don't worry about it.
So you have a bit of a crazy story. I'm sure you got... Actually, that's probably not even the craziest story because you've lived a bit of a life.
Yeah. Guess so, yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, you started... What did you study at university?
Oh, international business. That was a dismal failure.
Yeah. And then when you were 22, you joined the army.
Yeah.
And what made you go towards the army? Was it just something to do initially?
No, I just love G.I. Joe.
Yeah, really?
And the cartoon Robotech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to miss the bus to school. Then I'd just walk to a train station, catch the 722 to watch Robotech.
The 722.
Yeah.
That's really local.
Yeah.
That's a real southern fucking move.
I used to jump off the bus just down the road from yours.
So you were...
And run across the road, run across Hackham, then jump the bus again.
So you are a southerner. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess you worked with the area.
Yeah, so he went to
back in the
Southern
day.
Wales, and we worked together at McDonald's at Norlangia.
Yeah.
No shit.
One under 17s with Fitzy, old Ryan Fitzgerald.
At Porties?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Used to be a footy player too.
Yeah, I used to play, I started there doing under 10s, but I played under 6s, under 8s at school.
Yeah, he's just funded a heap of money back into the Porties Footy Club as well.
Good dude.
Yeah, he's moving back down to Adelaide, I think.
Yeah.
I think you told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're 22, you're fresh out of uni, and you go into the army, and you just kind of fell in love with it, or you just realised that you had a kind of talent for it.
I found a home. They just wanted you to put everything in a certain place, certain things a certain place, and do things a certain way. And that was just like Macca's.
Yeah.
And I guess because I'm Asian, I just love order and precision.
I'm opposite.
In all fairness, you are the worst Asian I've ever met.
He's the best Asian.
You're the worst Asian I've ever met. He's a proper Asian. He likes regiment.
No,
Discipline.
I'm not about regiment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you just kind of fell in love with or not fell in love, but you love a routine.
No, I'm not about routine. I just love the discipline.
Yeah.
I was the biggest naughtiest shit growing up.
Yeah.
Fathers would know. I did a lot of juvenile crime, which is really strange because I did that when I was going to youth group at church.
Really? No shit. And then...
Because I worked at Macca's, my mates would roll up at the back, outside dumpster, and I'll hand them a carton of eggs. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be finished at 10. They'll roll back at 10:30, jump in, we just go egging.
That's
Feeding the beast.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. So when you went to the army, I'm not familiar with the steps that you have to go through in the army. So when you sign up, you're obviously a recruit.
Yeah.
And how long are you doing that for?
Back when I was in, I think they're even now more selective. It was really hard to get into the ADF. It was really hard. So I was applying for the AFP and SAPOL, any of the services really, but my cousin, now at RSM, married a captain from Signals, Peter, and I always remembered him from Christmas. I remembered his wedding day, and I remember him playing army with me when I broke my leg, and I've just always wanted to be in the army.
And when you sign up and you become a recruit, how long are you a recruit?
Back then, I did 6 weeks. So you go through all your testing. First I joined up with a mate of mine who wanted to go through RMC, wanted to be an officer, but I didn't. I just wanted to be a rifleman. I don't like being in charge, I don't like responsibility. I just like riding my own boat, so to speak. And so my mate got rejected, and so I just withdrew my application to RMC, and they were really trying to push me to do that. I said no, I just want to go in with my mate. And so you go through all your testing at Defence Force Recruiting. do all that. You do all your psychometric testing, your psychological testing, your medical history, medical exam, all works and jerks, and you do your final fitness assessment, and then you do your signing-in ceremony. And once you sign your name on the bottom line, you're in, and the army's got you. Your life is not yours anymore, totally gone. And from then we went straight on the bus to the airport, and we got flew to Sydney and caught a bus to Wagga, and I was in 36 platoon. That was 6 weeks. Back in the old days, it used to be 13 weeks basic training, where they did formal lessons of like, watch now for a perfect demonstration, you'll do this by the numbers, follow me, do this, do that. And it would just be a formal lesson with like PowerPoints on how to brush your teeth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you got like 16, 17-year-old kids who've never left home.
Yeah, right.
And they don't know how to shave. They don't brush their teeth. Yeah. So that was 6 weeks, and it's just a passing out parade. You finish that up. It's pretty much anyone who goes there, you can't fuck a puka, seriously.
Everyone gets through.
Yeah, they just give you a hat badge. It just sounds really bad, but they call it the home of the soldier, but I was infantry, so we call it the home of the pogue. Whereas after that I went to Silverton, and that was only another 6 weeks, I think, and I was in Tobruk platoon. So all the original rats of Tobruk came out on the passing out parade, and I won Skeleton Arms. Apparently I'm a bit of a good shot, and it's really interesting because I used to go to Razzles. It was in the army, it's called mandatory fun, and we go to Razzle Dazzle, the RSL, before they had the poking machines and stuff. You just go sit in there and listen to all the vets have the war stories and stuff, and I'll rock up, and I had a mate who's Vietnamese, Sarni, and we'll just find like the oldest, saltiest Vietnam veterans we can, and we'll buy them a beer and sit down and just go, "Hey, you alright?" And they'll be like,
Tell me a story.
"Who are you?" And we just go, "Oh yeah, bet you someone looking like us is trying to chop someone like you. A bit younger back in the day, eh?" They just don't know how to take it.
Did you learn to shoot in the army, or did you shoot as a kid?
No, I still don't have any interest in weapons.
It was just at the time.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the best way to go through. All I did was just do what they told me. And if you got any kind of natural affinity, like if you're athletic, hand-eye coordination, I learned to control my heartbeat pretty much, like properly behind the trigger. You want to shoot between heartbeats, and you want to have like controlled breathing, or it's got to be consistent. So everything's got to be consistent, and then it's not performance but improvement.
But maintaining all of those steps in when someone's shooting back at you would be such a different thing.
Pressure.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I'm still alive.
So you finished that, and then did you upgrade? I don't know the exact names and ranks of things, so I don't want to say anything to mess them up.
Just a private.
So you're a private now,
Yeah.
And then what is the next step for your journey after private?
You get sent to the unit, to your infantry unit.
Yeah.
And back then,
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3 RL were the premier battalions.
Yeah.
6 is where they sent all the kids who want disco biscuits. They go to Fortitude Valley, and 5, 7 is where they just send trash.
Yeah.
Sorry, 5, 7, but no one wants to be in Darwin. And I was the only one who volunteered to go paras that didn't go because they knew my cousin. Like, all the staff knew my cousin. And I went like, what the fuck? Like, and even like had dinner with Dave. And then a few of my mates, like, I didn't really struggle in 1 hour. And normally you get, back then, this is like 2000, if you're a lid, which is a new guy or a Jew, Yanks call them F&Gs, and you don't perform, you get taken out the back and you get filled in, like proper filled in. And it's like, fucking sharpen up.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And when you say para, that's paratroop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about them, really.
Yeah.
It's, all it is you just fall out of a plane.
Yeah.
How's that great?
So have you had to use that in actual combat as well, while jump out?
No Aussie. I don't think any Australians besides M and Z Force have done actual combat jump, not even SASR. I think the 75th Ranger Regiment over in Afghanistan, there'll be people who've done 3 combat jumps into Afghan and into Iraq.
Yep.
And so when all of this is happening, are you still in Australia?
When was all this?
Oh, like what you were just saying before?
No, I was working over there.
Working abroad.
Yeah.
And that was based in the Middle East?
Yeah.
Yeah. And where was you back? Was it in Baghdad or Afghanistan?
Both.
Both?
Yeah. So I'm a bit of a rare breed, though. I've got mates who've done probably more, but back then I was doing both Iraq and Afghanistan. You just go where the work is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where were you? And so you were just switching between the two the whole time?
Yeah. So it's just a pure contract world. I mean, you can say you're a flat-out mercenary, but I wouldn't. I'd just say I was a service provider. Once again, I was in the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
My clients were different.
Yeah.
And the customers, you can shoot in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And how old were you when you started contracting?
Well, I went into one area. Like I said, didn't really have too much problems because I just played footy for the unit. Then I played civvy footy.
Yeah.
Just made really good mates, and people worked out that I put in. Like, it's hard graft. Like, no one likes it. It's a dirty, shitty fucking job. Literally. Like, you shit your pants, you live in it. You live in the mud, you live in the dirt, you live in the wet. We got probably the hardest jungle training schools, Tully. And that's done for a reason.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and especially if you're infantry, you just get smashed. I mean, they just go like, okay, index, go, alright, we'll go out high range. No trucks, we're doing a 40 clicker. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? We walking back? They go, yeah, and here's 2 mortar bombs. And you're like going, oh, I'm really fucked. I just spent 4 weeks out in high range. This is really shit.
So 40k is carrying this stuff?
Yep, with 2 mortar bombs.
Shit.
No shit.
And the people who fucking fell out, they fucking knew about it. At the boozer, they see you chucking these empties at.
Yeah, right.
And then you get support company, like recon and snipers are too cool for school, but the dudes who want to rumble with DFSW and mortars, they identify you as a jack cunt. That's the worst thing you can be in the army. They'll fucking grab you at the boozer, they'll fill you in.
Yeah, right.
And everyone will just cheer on.
So without telling a story that you can't actually tell, can you give an example of some things you were doing as a contractor?
Oh geez, this is skipping a fair few steps.
Oh, all right. No, we'll go back to another. We'll go back to where you were. So to lead up to how you even became a contractor.
Yeah. Well, I did selection.
Yeah.
Did SSR selection with BRS. Pretty big in the media now. And let's see. I skipped Butterworth, which is like a reward trip to Malaysia, and in order to do my barrier. Then my barrier got canned, then I had to do my barrier. Then I went down with like just a massive flu for a week. Still managed to pass selection. It was alright, as long as like you're tough up here, like you just focus on what you gotta do, because they give you, it's called silent running. You don't get told if you're doing good or you're doing bad, they just leave you to it. They just don't talk to you. And the weirdest thing is like, as soon as you rock up to the airport, it's kind of like a who's who. It's like the Olympics. You see all these people from different units all land together, and everyone's got the Esh bag, and you've got your Alice pack. Everyone's looking around, doing like the who's who, you know, in the zoo.
So you would have people from other army, like other countries from their army, and people doing the same thing, applying for the same jobs?
No, it's we'll take NZSAS, but they would have to still do selection.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, I just don't stick with conviction like that. I just go like, I refuse to be intimidated, so I just got up, got a nice coffee, and just ate 2 fucking pies and shepherd's pies, just sitting there mugging on, looking around. Everyone's just staring at me like going, oh, heat seeker, because the DS are there, and they just stand there watching you, and they just, oh no, now, they don't write anything, they just pretend they're making notes, just to play with your head. Did that, got told, yep, come back 2 years, we want you. You just bit green around the grills, green around about gills. I went, yeah, fair one, I've only been in for 3 years. I didn't want to do recon or snipers. Nothing against you lads, sorry, but I just didn't want to be a big fish in a small pond. And that's what you are in Townsville, you know?
Yeah, right.
That's the dizzy heights of the elite military. You know, and I'm like, Townsville, shit. Yeah, I've said it. I fucking hate you, Townsville. Fuck. So I did anything I could to get out.
Yeah.
And then I had mates training with me as well, and like, going, come on, man, let's get the fuck out of here, please. They're going, I don't know about doing this selection stuff. And I'm like, it's just work, mate. Just put the shit on and run, walk, stomp, lift, swim. Easy. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, well, do you want to be stuck here forever, man? I'm like, no, not really. And I went, well, this is our way out. So then I went down and did commandos after that the same year. And that was a night. Like, I fully thought I'd go down.
What was the training for that like?
Very unconventional. So I tried to train 3 times a day. I'll do my... as soon as I wake up, you know, sometimes you got a parade, but if you got a really good platoon sergeant and they know you, like, I had a pretty decent reputation. They went like, yep. People would see me running at 3 o'clock in the morning, my webbing and stuff, doing my 3.2s, and they're just like, going, you're a fucking nutter, mate. And you got to do what it takes. So my normal training regimen was like, I'll get up, do my strength training in the morning, go to work, you just sit around the lines. It's just like this. I reckon we should have cameras and you should go on live on YouTube. Like, people just watch some of the shit we get up to, stuffing people into lockers, like just like camming up rocks and see who can do the best cam on a rock, and then we'll try and attach that to someone's pack so they think it's part of their pack.
Just wait.
Like, yeah, and they're like, what the fuck, my pack's so heavy. And yeah, you just stuff around with each other. Nothing operational, it's all admin. Yeah, and like, you know, you get your cardboard out, you have your cardboard armoured suits, and you have jousting in the fucking... I mean, like, it's the Aussie Army, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not like in the movie.
No, we're pretty fucking ocker, man. We're just like council workers with gas. You don't understand. That's why I fucking like go, this is shit, man. This is not professional soldiering.
Just like council workers with fucking gas.
Yeah, I want to be around elite performers and people who actually want to strive and do and be something, you know. That's, yeah.
I was thinking about this yesterday before you came on, and it's such an odd skill set because there's obviously outliers in every field in the world. Like, there's athletic outliers, intellectual outliers, but there is certain people in this world that are just the most elite soldiers, and it's just such a crazy thing to think about that there's people with that kind of skill set and that kind of mind where
that's not me at all.
But it's just crazy. Like, even things that you've done and you're capable of, it's just incredible. Like, you must have like a pretty bulletproof mind.
I don't know what Eric's been telling you.
He told me you're an elite. No, just army people in general. It's just a hectic fucking. It's a hectic thing to do.
It's a job.
Yeah.
You realise that we're very much like US Marines are very overt. There's a lot of dark psychology in the Aussie Army, the special infantry, and they've done a study on it. It's called killology. So all the targets that we hit or we shoot at are just basically man-shaped targets. They've got pictures, like we call them easy targets, or the figure 11, figure 12s. So you're always trying to aim for the face. So that, but when I was working on the trigger, I used to shoot people in the dick.
Really?
Yeah, well, when you're running, your head's bobbing around, like, going, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm not going to shoot them centre mass because they're wearing plates. So I'm not going, well, I can know where your legs are. I'm shooting your dick there, mate.
They call him the cock, the cock shooter.
Yeah, well, instant you drop them. And I'm getting shot there, and they're just going to go.
Yeah, right. And so from like fucking around like when you realised that you wanted to do better shit and you wanted to be around more elite things, where did that take you?
Went down to Commandos. That selection was fucking hard, man. Like, that's when I said I thought my body was going to break down. It went for 6 weeks and we're just getting smashed, just beasted. And there's stuff I can't say about what happened on that selection, but there's people in that unit that don't deserve to be in there. And after that, like, we used to go to Coltana, like heaps, Port Augusta. Like, we have F-250s and we'll drive our cows, like Commando Operator watercraft. We were going through Broken Hill, and people would just be like going, well, where are you going to fucking take that, mate? shit like that. And obviously we're not wearing all our gear. We just dress as civvies. They just like going, "Oh, I love your F-250." Like going, "Yeah, it's a good rig, eh?"
Yeah, no shit.
Because we just stop off at the pub, have a few beers, have some dinner, then we go back, and then we stopped up at Mildura. That was a big night. And then at Coltana, like, some shit went down there. And so I'd left the unit. I was just disgusted at the leadership, and there's no accountability. Everything's just like, hide it, disguise it, or get promoted out. And I'm like, hold on, there's a big massive issue here. Huge failing, what the fuck's going on? So I was glad to leave. And after that, I probably spent about 6-7 months just living in my car. Just really struggling, just working as a concreter. And I just went like, nah, refused to get back into the army. Yeah. And then I got my first contract. I was stoked. I thought, I'll just jump straight into it. Come from an elite unit, I've been overseas, but no, it's not like that. Like, you got to know someone. And it was really hard for people just to do a cold call on me. And so they just went like, "No, we like your background. We'd like to talk to you on the phone. What are you doing this weekend?" I went, "Why is that?" "Oh, we got a ticket for you." "What for?" "Job interview." "Okay, where am I flying?" "Sydney, Melbourne." They went, "You're going to come to London to our office." I went, "Right, okay, this shit's getting real."
Some fucking John Wick shit.
So oh man, the office at Buckingham Gate, you got the household cavalry guard and saw Buckingham Palace, and just it was so. I get why people love the UK.
So did you actually go through the gates for that?
No. But it's just all kind of in that area.
I get you.
Yeah. And I got hired and got flown out to Kuwait, and that night I was in Iraq.
No shit.
Yeah. Away working, 2006.
That was 2006 this happened, and that was your first one.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, you perform well in that job, and the word gets out that you're reliable and this and that, and then more work comes and more work.
That is very true. It's same in any industry.
Is that so? It's very similar to any other industry. It's a lot of word of mouth, I imagine.
Yeah, you really have to earn your name, and that is.
Is there a lot of private contractors?
Not in my group. We were actually quite small, but over there was over 10,000, I reckon. There's a huge force multiplier.
Do you ever hear the story? I forget his name. There's a massive YouTube documentary on him. He lied his way into becoming a massive private contractor in Afghanistan. He never was in the army or anything, but he lied his way. He was a really good talker, and he was confident, and he had no army background, and he found himself exporting fucking really high profile hostages from point A's to point B's.
Wow. Holy shit.
And he ended up making millions of dollars, ended up forming a massive coke addiction, and fucking went to Puerto Rico or some shit, and ended up killing. It's a hectic fucking story. It's on YouTube. It's like a 50-minute doco about this bloke's life, but he became a private contractor in the Middle East.
One of the people I worked for, he started a company called Global. He was, I think it was Scottish Black Watch, but he wasn't UKSF or anything like that. He was just ex-soldier, maybe an officer, and he mortgaged his house 3 times. And when Afghanistan kicked off, I remember when the planes actually hit the towers. I won't say what I was up to, but I was up late at night on the old laptop. And on the TV, I always have CNBC because I like to listen to what's happening in the financial markets and stuff like that. And the chick, the presenter, she's just going, "Oh my God, there's just been a massive rumble explosion in the building. I don't know what's going on." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then I went to sleep that night, and the next morning, everything was just going crazy. People were just banging on your door and stuff like, "Get up, get up, get up."
What was that like, actually, being in the army when that was happening?
It was a load of wank, bro.
Yeah.
We were just cruising around with our stires, with a fucking bayonet, with our webbing, with no mag. And you're like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Just for show.
Who the fuck's going to take out Townsville? Really? They can have it. So we used to just cruise around, just stab the grass, stab the fucking palm trees, try and stab each other. We just sat there and just went, this is bullshit.
Yeah, right.
And people want to leave the army.
Mm. So after your first successful contracting job, do you have any like stories in the contracting thing that you can talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That first gig was hectic.
The first one?
Yeah. We had 10 of our locals beheaded, and their heads
What?
dropped off at the front gate.
10 of your local, like the community you were staying in?
No, he worked for us.
Worked for you? Fuck.
And they didn't realise there was what's called an ODA, Operational Detachment Alpha, like an SF team. And they were there operating. And there's something called Eagle Eye. So we can see everything from the sky. And like some of the boys would fall asleep at night doing night patrol. And they would answer the radio. And so we have to call up Eagle Eye and just go like, "Oi, where's this cunt? Oh, can I say that?
Yeah, you can say
Yeah. Go, where the fuck is this fucking cunt? It's like, yeah, he's there, mate. There's something there, just parked in the ditch. We can see the exhaust coming, the car's running. And so we have to get the Casper, which is this big white armoured vehicle. Brilliant thing. And we had to time him out. Just go, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Wait, was that the guy that dropped off the heads?
No, these are some Kiwi boys.
just some Kiwis.
The thing is, like, we'll get touched up every night as well with drive-bys, and they'll guard to the loser. They'll just freak out. So, you know, sometimes you just lie in wait and give it back. You know, a few 100-round belts, they wouldn't be coming back.
Fucking 10 heads.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That's fucking horrendous.
Yeah. And we knew who did it. They won't be doing that again.
Yeah, fucking hell. Some heavy shit though. How you can still function and like talk. I'd be fucking such a mess of it.
Dude, it'd be so hard.
Yeah.
Just
Imagine Eric in that situation. If you just dropped off 10 heads in front of MV2 tomorrow.
what do you do?
If you
Call me.
Okay, son, something heavy's happened.
If you put 2 dead rats in front of MV2, Eric would have to take 3 days emotionally.
Fuck.
Well, he's been through some shit too, man. Alright, you give him a break.
Everyone's been through some shit.
Be kind. Everyone's going through
Everyone's
stuff.
been through some shit.
Yeah.
But so that's fucking crazy. That was just your first job. When you like, what have I signed up for after that, or was that?
I loved it.
That was like why you were there.
Yeah, it gets in your blood. I fell in love with it. I guess you ask anyone, like people ask what's it like being like in Commandos or SASR. I'll just say that I know what it takes to get into one of the units and what it's like, especially in Commandos, especially now. It's harder to stay in and keep your beret than to earn it. And just every day you got to perform. I think I've lost track of what I was trying to say here.
You were saying
Being on the contract, like the contracting side of things, and why you loved it.
Oh, yeah. So when you have that much dedication to your craft and you just get hyper-focused to do your training and we go through entry testing, go through selection, and you just want to perform and do the best you can, and you just go, I've got a good background from infantry, I've got a lot of my mates already in the unit, got a lot of my mates on the staff, got a lot of my mates I'm training with. It's just work. That's all it is. Like, yeah, you're sleep deprived, it's food deprived. Some people lose up to 20 kilos, and you're carrying fuck off heavy shit. It's just work. That's all it is. Like, I don't know. I'm just not intimidated by it.
So did you have to transport a lot of people around as well, like from A to B?
Yeah. So after that first gig, I got some stories to tell about that one. So yeah.
Yes, tell me the juicy ones without getting too juicy, without getting in trouble. But then again, I love a good story.
Yeah, I do love a good story, and don't let the truth get in the way of a good story either. You can blow it up a little bit, you know.
Oh, well, certainly intelligence assets told us where they were, and we just knew where they were going to be, And they tried something on again. NDEX. See ya. Bye. Pop smoke. They did actually literally go up and smoke. I should have laughed at that.
That'd be heavy.
But yeah, after that, I just really loved it. Like, we used to have heaps of dams. That ODA attachment just loved us, just gave us everything. Then worked out, oh, holy fuck, you're Aussie SF. I went, oh, yeah, I don't really claim it, but yeah. And he goes, well, what skills and drills do you know? So started doing range shoots with them, and just fun, cool shit.
I was going to say, is 80% of your, when you're over there and stuff, is 80% of your time training?
No. No, 99% of my time over there was sitting in front of the idiot box.
Really?
Yeah, playing a lot of Xbox.
PUBG.
Yeah, no, it was Call of Duty, Battlefield 2, Counter-Strike. I didn't really get into Minefield, and then just going on the internet and just seeing what your mate's up to, seeing what work's coming up, seeing, like, you really got to keep a view on the US Treasury budget, see what they're going to spend.
And is a lot of your work admin as well?
No.
No, that's all right then.
It did used to be, but depends. Like, after
Depends how much shit went down.
that first contract that I did, our clients weren't too happy, but the company loved us and got us on with Global. This is a fellow who went to Afghanistan when shit went down, and he was just started drinking at the Intercontinental with a couple of Alphabet officers, and they said, we've got $250 million here. Are you interested in starting something up with us? He goes, oh, maybe. Yeah. And so some of the contracts back then was up to 400, 450, $500 million.
Is that right?
Yep.
So is that the government spending it on the contractor, and the contractor goes in and does a duty?
Yep.
And that, fucking hell, big money in it.
So what? All right. So
Yeah.
you got 400 million.
Yeah.
In your bank account. Does that mean you can go out and buy a car or a tank or all your weapons? You can just go, just like the Matrix. You can just walk in and just grab whatever.
What was your biggest splurge? Not splurge, but like biggest purchase.
Probably would have been an Antonov.
Oh, what?
An Antonov. Isn't that the helicopter?
No, it's a plane.
Oh, that's that massive one that blew up in Ukraine. So that was part of the whole entire thing.
That wasn't that one, but it was a different one. But that was a lot of money. Like, probably I'd authorise maybe $35, $40 million.
When you're paying that, it's going to sound really dumb.
Yeah, I should have gotten a black Amex card and gotten a free fly miles.
Is it a card? It's obviously a transfer, a wire transfer or some shit.
That particular job when I was in Afghan, I was basically where the buck stopped was with me, and I just had to rubber stamp it, send it across the desk to Colonel J, and he just goes, "What's this?" Yeah, I don't know. You guys want it? So, all right. Tick, sign off.
It's like buying a used car.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. So
The amount of money they spend on fucking war, though, it's insane, eh?
Like, I had my own personal armoured car that was like about 300 grand.
Is that right?
That was just mine.
is that so your city car to get around when you're off duty, so you can just go to the shops, go to the pub?
Yeah. Do I look like?
So yeah. So when you're in your car, so when you're cruising around, do you get, is it like armoured? Do you carry your weapons in there just in case anything happens? Like in case.
No.
Yeah. So you're always strapped with something.
Yeah. I always used to carry a covert pistol because you can't trust your locals.
Yeah.
And I always had my hand there like that,
Yeah. I get you.
just in case.
What was your carry, like a 9mm?
No. 10.
10?
Yeah.
So like Star Wars, when you go down to the pub and Greedo comes out and on the table,
Cantina.
No
Cantina.
shit.
Yeah.
Challenge shot first, that sort of situation.
So you want to basically be polite and nice to everyone, but have a plan to kill everyone in the room.
Because at the end of the day, no one really likes you there, do they?
Some do.
Some do.
Yeah.
The ones that are obviously you're protecting.
No, they just realise that you're a good person.
Yeah.
That you're there for a job and you're not a thug. Well, some of these contractors are knuckle draggers. And you just go like, fuck, I don't want to work with this bloke. That's why we keep in touch with each other. See who's who and who, and make sure we look after each other, get good contracts, stuff like that. So I ended up at the pinnacle, really. If you get like an embassy contract, that's what you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I spent my time in the mud. I loved it. Like doing convoys. That's hectic shit right there.
Have you got any convoy stories
I have a few.
that you can actually say?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to make my job easier, so I don't have to edit any of this.
Basically, like when I first started, it was super quiet. So we were working out of Abu Ghraib warehouse. So this is after I spent 7 months straight in Afghan, and I was going stir crazy, and that was just an easy gig, just a money gig. And then I just went, fuck, I'll just jump on convoys. And went there with a mate. We did some training in Arkansas, and it was just super chill, super quiet for about a month. And had another few of the guys were pretty solid, actually really good dudes, Marines, Force Recon. There was an ex SOG from Vietnam there, and he was my first team leader. And our project manager was a Kiwi fellow, and then someone else was from Kiwi SAS. And so we got along like a house on fire. Falcon was a company that ran the whole security for the range. And that guy was old school SF dude, and he's just like, man, I've been seeing you shooting on the range, like fucking just whenever you want, just radio, call me, and I'll make it hot for you. So that was brilliant. Abu Ghraib warehouse is probably bigger than Metro Adelaide.
Really?
Yeah, the amount of money coming through that place. Yeah, and we actually had the FBI come in to investigate it. Because 2,000 Glocks got stolen and sold on the black market.
Holy shit.
A lot of that happens with the military in general.
Yeah.
A lot of things. That's how people get military grade weapons at home. It doesn't come from fucking civilians.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, you go, because we travel like Iraq as if it was just a road trip.
Yeah.
And the Yanks used to call us like Road Warrior. That's what they called Mad
Max.
Yeah. They go, God damn, the Aussie Road Warrior. Yeah, we can have seafood again tonight. Again, thank you. Cheers, boys. Because that's what we're transferring all their cargo to all their FOBs. Like the Yanks would go in, they set up little forward operating bases, or not little, but huge ones. And they operate out of that. And I'm just like, you're going the wrong way about it. You should actually have smaller. That's how you hold ground. You just don't go out, just patrol and come back. You know, that's just stupid. But that's how they operate and work. And we were the ones supplying everything from the generators, all their bullets and bombs, all their laptops, so they can watch their porn. Fishing rods, like they'd go out there fishing, shit
Really?
like that. Yeah. Like Victory Base Camp, that's huge. And so the amount of money coming out of Abu Ghraib warehouse would easily, like, some of my cargo would be well over 25, 50 mil.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So when you bring weapons, so does anyone obviously try to get intel when you're moving? Does anyone try to ambush?
Fucking oath.
Well, that's the fucking, that's...
So when we first started, it was super quiet, but then we started operating and moving, we started to get razzed up. So every night you would just go to sleep and the gate guards would just be pumping rounds out. You just hear the 50 cal and like the 240s, they call Mag 58s. You will just go to sleep to hear them like... I'll just go up on the roof and I'll just get my gun, just pump rounds in, just go, shut the fuck up!
More noise.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll get mortared, rocketed. We'll just be walking to the mess, which is like a K-way, and we'll see a call sign go out, and they just hit Huskies, and you see these twin blooms just go. We'll still feel it.
I was going to say, what was the first explosion like for you? Because that would be probably a pretty fucking confronting thing.
A lot of fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, even anticipating it. And we just stared at
You knew
each
it was
other.
going to happen.
Yeah, we just stared at each other and just like going, fuck. And then that call sign just had to get retrieved and dragged back, and just the burnt charred bodies, bro.
Because I know I accidentally shot a 308 once, and I didn't have my earmuff on properly, and I just remember that ring, that horrible fucking ring. Is it similar to that when it drops?
Sometimes I purposely have done stuff like with my hearing protection off, but
Really?
yeah, just to build that up. But I've been always super religious. I mean, here's a picture. I mean, that was my take on my time in Iraq.
That's on barbecue. I love that photo.
Man, that gap, my M4, that was worth about 10 grand.
Really?
What's the standard military issue rifle that you use?
Depends what unit.
Depends on you. What were you using?
I was using Greg Leaf M16 Viper Clinic, so it had a full auto lower. I wasn't meant to have it, but we knew people. And that thing alone, with the sear, if I shipped it back to the States back then, I could have got 20 grand for it, but even now, I'll get 200 for it.
Is that right?
Yeah. Anything full auto, especially with an AR platform. I even had safeties and sears from a Glock. Sold it to a mate of mine in Kurdistan for $600. I'm like, what are you going to do with it? And he just goes, oh, my dad's a machinist. We're going to pump these out, sell them for $5 grand each.
Oh, serious?
I want it back. But yeah, like we went to the range and just pulled it back out of the Glock, dropped the new one in, and just put an extended mag on. I'm like, yeah, tap rack and held trigger down, and away she went. It's like,
so there's rules of engagement
works.
even as a contractor. So there's
no, not for us.
I was
Really?
going to say you're private contractors.
No.
You're like a
Yeah,
different thing.
we can do whatever we want.
I've never understood the fucking rule. I wanted to touch on that today because that's one thing I've never understood about war. Because in my eyes, when shit hits the fan, it's kind of like you gotta win. Like if it comes down to it, like
Yeah.
an actual war.
Well, we're not back in 1812 charging the guns again.
Yeah.
And we're not in World War One in the trenches.
But I don't actually know the rules of war. So is it no flame? No, you're not allowed to incinerate anymore, or
I don't know about that. Probably someone who's still into it more. But I know we've got what's called off orders for opening fire, and there's ROE. Everyone knows what ROE is, rules of engagement, and then there's laws of armed conflict, which is actually ruled by the Geneva Convention. And there's things that you can't do, like if someone's given up and they're a prisoner, you got to give them any common courtesy as a human, but you maintain shock of capture. You don't fraternise with them. If you're feeling generous, give them a durry. Keep them cuffed. You got to feed and water them. You can't bash them or beat them. But you got to maintain shock of capture, so then intelligence can come and get what they want out of them. But yeah, there's a lot of morality in what I do and what the ADF does, and what you're seeing on the media is an aberration. That's not the ADF.
yeah.
Yeah.
have you ever been into a close situation where you've almost been like captured or anything, or you've been
Yeah.
yeah
Fucking
terrifying?
Not really.
No.
Because obviously I'm not white, and I can speak like to Dorsty Hilberstom, just a bit of lingo, Tasha Core. I just go, all right, what are you doing? And I just go, Zen, Marcus Shee, everything's all good. I'm going for a walk. That's my villa. Yeah, all right, see ya. Yeah, I've gone in the bandit country, just, in soft skins, and we're doing recce's, pretty much trying to prove the route. You just don't know what bridge is still going to be there. So you don't want to rock up with like 40 semi-trailers and 6 gun trucks and going...
So basically you're just scouting the area, making sure everything's still...
Yeah, and you go out and talk to all the power players, because you trust your locals to a certain point.
Yeah.
And then they'll just go, oh yeah, my uncle knows these people, these bad people here. And just go, well, can we meet them? He goes, do you want to do that? And they always call me Mr. Sun. Mr. Sun, do you want to do that? And I go, yeah. They just go, really? Yeah, fuck yeah, why not? Go out there, meet them. The only times I've ever been scared for my life is probably the Yanks.
Really?
Yeah, they've arced me up quite a few times. Yeah. And I was with a mate, he doesn't live that far from you.
Yeah.
I'll just say Andy. And we were going down to near Wardak, and yeah, we got lost.
In a bad place?
Yeah.
So is it like Hackham bad?
I think they're bad over there. It's different.
I reckon if these boys from Hackham can bracket a 120mm mortar, yeah, that would fit in. And so we were cruising around, and just a few Yanks just rolled up, and we went to their checkpoint, and obviously showed our creds, and they're like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? We go, we don't know, where are we? They go, Earth? I go, wait, fuckhead, yeah, we know we're on Earth. We're about in Afghanistan in Wardak. And he goes like, oh, why don't you have your fucking maps? And we're like, because you guys won't give us any, you fuckheads. And we realised, we're working for you. We got all this shit for you. Just help us out. And they're like, seeing how we dress, and they're like, everyone get out of the car, get out, just, you suited booted. They're like, oh man, you guys must be SF. Okay, what maps do you need?
Oh really?
Yeah.
It comes with some credibility.
Yeah. Having some balls.
Yeah.
Just going out there and doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of fear,
has there been any times where you just sat down and think, I am proper fucked, and there's no way out of this?
story of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 2 years.
Yeah.
When it's not one of the ones, we call it running the roads.
Yeah.
People don't come back.
Yeah.
It'll explain what running the roads is. Or if you get
It's
to like a
swimming with sharks.
Yeah.
In a feeding frenzy. Like they got a lot of hatred. They want to take it out on someone or anyone. They know what cargo we've got. They want it.
Yeah.
There've been call signs that have just gone out. Like 30 trucks, 5-gun trucks. They just don't come back. No one knows where they are.
And when you say they do which group do you mean?
That company was called Heart.
Yeah.
They lost 2 call signs. Just everyone's all killed, dead.
Is that right? Then all the product goes missing. So all cargo gone, drivers, all contractors gone.
Yeah. One of my best truck driver, was a 12-year-old. He used to wear chocks on his feet.
What? That's
Yeah.
like Indiana Jones.
Fully. Yeah, fully looked after him.
Shit. Really?
Yeah. And,
No shit.
And then when they get sick or they say the family's sick, my mate, John Regan, he was a PA, which is just under a GP, and he was part of the original SOG and Viper teams.
Yeah.
In Vietnam and First Desert World Wars. He opened up my eyes to contracting because I was just a straighty 180, just like, yeah, do a job, either die or don't, come home.
Yeah.
But he's like, mate, no, we could have a bit of fun here. I go, what do you mean? He was a rogue.
Really?
And taught me how to be a war zone adventurer.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is not all doom and gloom, man. Don't get hell sad. Because he could tell I was hell scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no need for fear, mate. I go, what do you mean? He goes, there's a lot of fun, bro. Just chill out.
I was going to say, when you just said Warzone Adventure,
I was about to say that.
Is that what you see in yourself as? That's a wild way to see that. That is real Mad Max kind of art.
I loved it. Why do you think I did it for 10 years?
Is one of the hardest things about being a civilian now not having that adrenaline rush?
I wouldn't say it's an adrenaline rush. I never felt an overload of adrenaline. It's the worst thing for you. I mean, yeah, we got taught to use gross motor skills when you got like the M4. Like, I don't even tap and rack. I just go, is it gold or black? Black means you need in your mag, so all it is just flick out, you one in, tap straight back into the fight. So everything's all gross hand motor skills, even your draw. Like, there's no fine motor skill movement, so everything's like big karate chop movements, like power rack, double feed, tap again, back in. So adrenaline's your worst enemy. So we gotta really train to fight slow. A slow hit is better than a fast miss.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Yeah.
So adrenaline is not your friend.
I was going to say, well, if adrenaline's pumping through, that usually means some shit's gone wrong or about to go wrong as well.
Afterwards it hits you. It does. And like, I've done a lot of reading about the more sophisticated warrior cultures and how they used to embrace people being a warrior. You come back from a battle and there's something called fear shedding, and you realise who you are again. And yeah, I used to fly business all the time, from Dubai to Adelaide, Sydney, Melbourne.
Yeah.
And because I flew a lot, and I don't know, cabin crew loved me.
Rack up those frequent flyer points.
And I used to think, well, there's a reason why I spent an overnight in Dubai getting on the gas with my mates and fly home on business 16 hours, leave that all behind.
Yeah.
So then back to my lovely quiet life in Adelaide. I just love the dichotomy of it. Yeah.
It's almost like a yin and yang.
Yeah. So when I'm home, I'm home. But when I'm over there... Like,
Warzone Adventurer, is that your PUBG name?
No, my PUBG, I get so much shit about my PUBG, no. Mine is...
Like Fluffy 69 or something?
Nah, it's called Grey Aces. But everyone just goes, oh, grey ass, you fuckwit.
Grey asses.
Oh, no, Aces is like Aces. Just Google it. Can't really talk about it. Apparently we don't have it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So there's a black and white role, there's a black role, which is like conventional army or special forces do, and then you get shooters who work with spooks, they're in the grey role. You don't ever say spooks or spies, they're intelligence officers. That's when you know that some of the language on the TV shows, I'm just going, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
Or even the skills and drills and what people do, you just go like, what the fuck? You know,
Alright.
It's just so over the top. Yeah.
Here's a fucking good one. Have you ever seen an army movie that hasn't disappointed you?
No.
Really?
No.
There's not one where it's like, fuck, they actually kind of got it?
No.
No? Nothing?
No.
I guess you can't really capture that.
No. Probably Fury.
Fury.
That's a good movie, that one. Brad Pitt.
The absolute hatred they had for the SS and for when they were like having, it was what's called total warfare, when a whole population's mobilised and those kids, and that kid with the Panzerfaust, that's why you got to slot kids if they're taking a shot at you, because they'll kill your mate if they don't kill you.
Yeah.
So it's not a nice position to be in, and if we can't talk about that anymore, that'll be wonderful. Yeah.
Alright, one of my favourite stories you told me is the Bin Laden story.
This crazy dude named Jack Idema. I've met some rogues in my life, and I met another one. His call sign's Rat. Different Rat from another one that people who listen to. He was never part of SOCOM. So this fella named Rat, he did time in jail down in Kandahar, got a bird pregnant. I think he repatriated her. He was mates with the governor of Kandahar, so he had a really nice suppressed Dragunov. But yeah, so he was a lifesaver for me because I was going insane in Afghanistan, just doing static. It was just, especially after my first trip, my second trip, nothing happened, super quiet, just at the US Embassy, people just making up all these war stories and shit. I'm like, wow, man, like, really? I'm just here for the money, just chill the fuck out. And, some of our locals, we had Gurkhas. Gurkhas aren't Gurkhas. British Army Gurkhas are Gurkhas, but they have Indian Army Gurkhas and they have Nepalese Army Gurkhas. And apparently my birthday is actually one of their holy days, and because I'm Korean, they took a huge liking to me. So they went and got a goat for me. And to have goat curry is awesome, but they, like Afghans, they just don't like Asians, some of them, because they don't like to be reminded about them being defeated by, by the Khans. That's why the Hazari look very Asian.
I was going to say, because they got defeated by the Mongols, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why they got that.
Mongols taught everyone up.
And their food, you can see it in their food, because their food is got Asian influence.
Yeah, rice and biryani and stuff. But anyway, this Afghan was just having a real go at these two blokes. And they're like, when we're off the clock on this one, because we're in Kabul, you can do what the fuck you want. And we did, like, I souvenired a car of a mate of mine from SF compound in Bagram, and we both had cars, and we just drove around doing whatever the fuck we want. It was awesome. He ended up buying a villa in Kabul.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of all places.
And people don't seem to understand, like, you're not going to die, no one's going to shoot you, no one's going to RPG you unless you go looking for it. Yeah. But if you're just cruising around doing whatever, they just don't give a fuck about you.
Kabul's the one that just got recently, wasn't it all over the news, was it last year?
Yeah, the evacuation.
Yeah.
So that was called Kaya. So they've got like Kaya International Airport, and then they've got the military side. Yeah.
But anyway, continue with the story.
So anyway, John Reagan's hit me up. Not John Reagan. He was in Iraq. Unfortunately, he's passed away now. And then I met another rogue. I call him Rat to protect his identity. And he's like, "Oh, have you heard about this bloke named Jack Idema?" I went, "Nah." He goes, "Oh, he's working for OGA." And I go, "Oh yeah, that's nice. Whatever. Like, don't really care." He goes, "Nah, like, do you want get paid like a shit tin, like what you'd like doing like mountain warfare?" And I went, "Yeah, pretty good." He goes, how do you handle snow? And I goes, yeah, you know, cold, winter, hot, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll do it. He goes, all right, well, there's an offer on the table. There's a bounty, and everyone will get paid. And we'll share the reward. And I go, what's the base rate? Easily 6 figures. And I'm going, what are we doing? He goes, we're going to Pakistan, hunt for bin Laden. I go, who's paying for this?
What the fuck?
There's a Texan billionaire. This is in late 2007, early 2008. And we would have found him. We would have got him.
Yeah.
Like, they knew where he was that long ago.
And they just left him.
Yeah. Took him that long to do anything about it. Whereas we would have gotten paid.
Yeah. So the way I remember your story is that you got everything ready, but this guy wanted to go with you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's a Texan billionaire, and we're like, no.
Well, he just wanted to come tag along,
Yeah.
like as a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, the rich are fucking different, aren't they?
Submarine, fucking Bin Laden.
Submarines! Submarines!
That's very on point right now.
I wanted to leave that one because me and Jacob Barter are doing a submarine podcast.
Oh, that's killer. That is killer.
Okay, how fucking dumb. How dumb. Like, the rich people need to just... If I'm rich, I'm not trying to kill myself early. I'm fucking staying up in my tower, just watching the peasants below me. I'm not going in a fucking submarine made of fucking shit from Bunnings warehouse.
The thing is, what people don't understand is that you've got, I think, barometric pressure is measured in hectopascals, in terms of bars of pressure. When you get down that low, it's like having like about 50,000 tons per square inch.
Yeah, I saw someone break it down. It was like an astronomical number of pressure.
So what with that, it's got to become hyperbaric. So the air's got to be pushed back against. And also the hull has got to flex. And carbon fibre doesn't flex.
It snaps.
It snaps. You're right.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
What a way. Apparently, though, it would have been that quick that they wouldn't have even known it happened.
Yeah, so they would have died from asphyxiation. So when an implosion happens under pressure, this will happen in space too. All the oxygen in every part of your fibre and your being just gets sucked out, and it's fed in towards like heat. So the energy transfer has to go somewhere, and it's actually heat.
Did you do much water? No,
that's just amphib stuff, but underwater stuff, no.
No,
I never had a fascination for it. Didn't really care. If it was going to be part of the job, I'd do it, but...
Maybe when you get to 62, because we were saying every 20 years something exciting happens to you, maybe you'll go to space. They just did their first charter. Did you see they just did their first charter?
No.
First fucking commercial space flight.
I'm the most boring bloke you ever meet in the face of the earth.
You wouldn't want to go see it?
No.
Even what about flight $5,000 a ticket? No.
He's already seen enough stuff. I'll do it for $5,000.
5? Would you do it for 10?
I'll do it. No. I got other things to spend. There's a Bitcoin run about to start. After that,
I was saying that. I was like, what were we talking about the other day? If there was like a real life Jurassic Park where they put it, say, somewhere off the coast of like
Tasmania,
Papua New Guinea or something, and you could fly there, how much would you be willing to pay to go to a weekend?
Yeah, true. Less than a submarine.
I'd go 15 G's for 2 days.
That's fair, yeah.
15 for 2 days.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So fucking you could have caught Bin Laden.
Yeah.
It's crazy that...
Gotten a lot of money doing it as well.
Does it kind of give you less faith in humanity seeing a lot of and hearing a lot of the stuff you did? Because you know that,
Actually brings out more.
Brings out more.
That's why I've got no interest in travel. People are the same everywhere, so you could be Iraqi, you can be Sunni Shia, you can be from Tikrit, from Balad, Bakuba. You can even be from Herat and Iranian, you could be Panjshir, Pashtun, Hazari. People just want their kids to be happy. They want a stable life.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how they achieve it or what they go about it. Why should we impose our values and how we live on someone who's happy? He's not really doing anything to us. So my mate John Regan just used to pull me out and just goes, because he was a PA, business assistant, just goes, and I'd just done my EMTB, And he goes, do you want to get some hands on the tools? I go, what do you mean? He goes, do you know how to suture? I went, yeah, an orange. He goes, how about, do you want to try it for real? And so we used to go out and find clinics. And then it got a bit of a problem when they started banging on our front door, like, can you come and help us?
Fucking hell.
So, yeah, it just grew from that. That's, I guess, my faith in humanity, not the other way around. Yeah, that's where I found it.
Yeah, right. That's a good outlook on it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you've seen like some fucking, just some heinous shit. More not even like physically, more like of how it works. Like even someone saying you could have gone and probably finished Bin Laden, but something was like in the way of that. Like what that would have been priority. That should have been priority number one at one point.
I was going to do it for free.
That's the thing, though.
Yeah, but then I got an amazing job offer.
Warfare Adventurer comes out.
Yeah, and then I just got a really good job offer. I was going back into Commandos in 2008.
Yeah.
And then just finished up doing convoys. And I just went, okay, I like to do PSD.
What's PSD?
Private security detail, so Secret Service kind of thing. When you see cars just up each other's ass, you know, and just go like, who the fuck proved that to be in the movie? You always offset left or right, or you go heavy six, so you have 2-3 cars back and have a lead, or you have your client car, or you mix it up, have your client in the back, so they can't pick which car to hit.
Yeah, right.
Because if they know what car to hit, they'll kill you.
Yeah,
trust me, they will kill you. They know how to. It's very easy. We are so vulnerable.
So did you do that overseas, or was that back here in Australia again?
That was overseas.
Yep.
So I did private security detail on convoys, and I'll go back to convoys in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Though I'll probably die.
Yep.
But it's the most fun.
Was
Cargo
Secret Service
doesn't
a bit more? It was that would have been a lot more by the book and.
Depends on the client. Like some we had.
Oh, you had private clients. You weren't appointed to a client.
No, they hired us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were still private contracting in a way, just in different on a different kind of. You were doing a different job.
So I was just a trigger puller. You pay me money, I'll pull triggers for you.
No shit.
Not in Australia though.
Not in Australia.
No, I don't. I know my mates. I know the people out there. I don't want them coming after me.
Do you still ever go out onto a range or anything? No.
I just don't care about it.
You're not getting paid for it.
Well, I also don't care. Yeah. I just did it like, I know I can show you some videos and stuff, and I can even, if you got someone that's got a range and GATs and stuff, I'm show what I can do and what I know, but why? I don't care about it. Well, there's no point in having that skill set in Australia. Like, if you want me to take over Australia for you.
That will, after the podcast, we'll talk about it.
That's about the only thing that I can do here.
Yeah.
And qualified for. But no, that version of me, I'd say, is well and truly stays overseas.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any consulting work around the place at all?
I could do, but I don't know. I can switch on and just switch off.
Yeah.
So when I'm switched off, I'm so switched off. Like my sister sometimes will hit me up, just go, oh, I'm free for lunch, I want to catch up. She was fascinated. She would just go, oh, can you show me around the compound, your car and your stuff? So I'd be on Skype showing her and and so I catch up with her, and then I'll just get lost. And she's in the car. She goes, I thought you liked this like 007 fucking person. I just go, Kyung, I'm a fucking security guard. Just calm the fuck down. I'm home.
You're a mall cop.
Yeah.
Just chill out. And she just goes, oh, I thought you liked this super switched on person. I went, if I was that person here, I wouldn't do too well.
Yeah.
So, what's the baddest motherfucker you've ever met? Without us having to, obviously, probably you wouldn't want to say I don't know if you could say their name or what they've achieved, but have you ever met someone and been like, you are a fucking dangerous motherfucker?
I've probably shot them in the face.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
So what's the feeling? Like the first time of actually, you've gone through all your training and you're out in the field and you besides the dick, you got the face. Like, there's like adrenaline's going, oh my God, I just did it.
It's kind of like swordsmen train with wooden swords.
Yeah.
It's like being friends with a girl
Yeah.
and then being in love with her.
Yeah.
Everything's all the same,
Yeah.
but then no more wooden swords.
Yeah.
Everything's for real.
Yeah. Playing
So
for
you,
keeps.
you
Yeah.
just, so you just got to basically do the ordinary in extraordinary circumstances.
Yeah.
Just do your training.
I get you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And is it harder to navigate with technology now? Like, is it a harder or easier space to be now with all the technology? Because you can just be sitting in your fucking room and someone can press a button and fly a drone from 1,000 kilometers. I don't know. I'm just exaggerating.
A lot of money in encrypted communications. That's called SIGINT. Yeah, you probably couldn't do that here. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you can go to Bunnings. I can mix up. Oh no.
I was just talking about like generally overseas. Like when you're in the battle, is it harder now with all the technology? Is it more sketchy now that there's so much technology?
It would be, yeah, especially what Russia's trying to fight a conventional land warfare and then just getting smashed by smart drones. But we'll get smashed with kids just chucking like RKG-3 grenades at us over the bridge.
Yeah,
so
no
our
shit.
drills would be like just going in as an S and then just staying there and stop, or then we'll just drive out that way, or we'll just do counter flow. So we'll just drive wrong way up a freeway, so we won't get smacked.
Is that right?
Yeah, we can do what the fuck we want.
Yeah. So that's back in contract world. You can just drive up the wrong way of a freeway.
Yeah,
Yeah. Regardless whether there's somebody after you or you just as a.
do whatever you fucking want.
Yeah.
Yeah. We even had Iraqi police try and take shots at us.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, but you just go like, all right, if this is going to happen again, this is what's going to come back at you. And keep my door open, go 30 rounds of the best.
Yeah.
Wasn't aiming at him, but it's just like, like them, just like, you shoot at us, you're going to get it back up. So fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't hassle us anymore.
Yeah.
There's certain checkpoints that you know are sketchy, and they got like HESCOs, and this is where they put in something like this. It's just sitting there. So you got a charge of C4 or any type of explosive.
Yeah.
Big mold of brass.
Oh, I get you.
And you got electric detonator that's wired up to a phone, or just a garage remote.
Yeah.
Passive IR. If that passive IR gets tripped by a car travelling, that's when it initiates, and you just got this hot metal slug like a laser going through the armoured car.
Yeah.
Hits you.
And it gets
the
through.
car's dead. You fucking oath.
Yeah.
Penetrates tanks.
Does it really?
Yep.
To say something that easy and so small would get through you.
Yep. That's why I'm surprised I'm still alive.
So this won't, but that will.
They'll kill everything in the car.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
So this is when they say, like, when they first got invented, there was a European diplomat or someone quite rich, and there's a terrorist group after him, and they said, we're going to get you. This is the time and this is the place. And there, him and his security staff were like, whatever. Drove, EFP, killed everyone.
Mm.
Yeah.
Shit.
So, yeah.
Have you ever gotten shot?
Me,
Yeah.
personally, with what?
A bullet. Like, have you've been shot before?
But I wear armour.
Like,
like me going to skate park
it's never like penetrated anything.
It's like me going to skate park. Yeah,
Even-
fuck yeah, I got my helmet on.
No,
That's
but
like-
even when you get shot with armor, it's still fucking canes.
Sometimes you don't even know, because the round will lose a lot of kinetic energy. Like, the desert's pretty big.
Yeah.
They'll engage it from us. Like, we wouldn't even know. We'll rock up to some bases and we're like going, like the Yanks would go, hey man, why is all your trucks fucked up? You go, I don't know. They'll look at Hassan.
you won't actually hear it.
No, it's pretty loud. You're traveling at 130 k's an hour, and then all you hear is sometimes your top gunner will just do like this, like,
Really?
Oh, that's all you hear.
and it's just percussion, and you just like going, what the fuck is Hassan on? And my terp was Sabar. Sabar would just go like, oh, just water. I went, oh, pass him a water bottle then, mate. So yeah, pass him a water bottle, and then yeah, sometimes he'd be doing that. I'd be like going, what the fuck? He's going, oh, he's shooting, Mr. Sun. I go, well, can you fucking tell us what he's doing then, left or right? I go, no, because I was Convoy Commander. I always like to lead from the front.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't, because the first car always gets whacked.
Yeah.
And I went, it's unfair for me to ask people in front of me to die if I'm not willing to do it.
I get you.
So that's where I found my courage.
Yep.
Putting other people before me. If I just fought for myself or fought about myself,
Yep.
I wouldn't be there.
Yep.
Like the fear is that big.
Yep.
And that's the only way I could navigate my way around through it. And then, yeah, and I just go, all call signs, fucking, just Sri, can you just build up to me? And he'll just come screaming. He goes, yeah, your gun's fucking in contact right. I go, yeah, all call signs, stop, gun trucks, contact right, drill, 5, hold rear, 4, set up security for the left. Me, 2 and 3 will drive into contact and just do what you do. Fuck them up.
Yeah.
Drive over them if you have to. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Want to take me on? Want to kill me?
Yeah.
Well, do that, mate.
It's either me or you. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I'll give them a chance because they're shooting, they're doing these yarns and running and shooting, and you just like going like, watch the rounds, just walk up and just go like, you're doing great, mate. You're shooting slow and missing everything, but you're doing great. Sit there and just put my gap.
That breath, just that one shot.
Shoot him straight in the dick. Pink miss. Watch him just tumble and fall. And I go, where's your mate? I know your mate's going to come up. And his mate comes and pops up. And I'm like, no, you won't shoot at me. So I just put rounds all around him. And he just goes, fucks off.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Some of the craziest, one of the funniest stories.
That's why you're such a nice guy.
I don't know. If no one's not doing anything bad to me, I'm not doing anything bad to them. You just don't know. You don't know why he's taking up arms against you.
Yep.
He could be for family honour, for his tribal elders told him to.
I get you. Yeah.
His imam has put out a fatwa against you. You just don't know what motivates him.
I get you.
We had some of our locals would just go like trigger happy. And like we had one dude named Banana. He slotted 4 in a bloody mosque. And I'm like going,
really?
What the fuck are you doing, Banana? And he'd be talking in a real Aussie accent. He goes, nah, they're just bad guys. And I'm like going, for fuck's sake, do not ever shoot again into a mosque, mate. He just goes, oh, just doing my job, man. And I'm like going, oh my God.
Damn.
And you know, I'm just like going, okay, whereabouts was it? Was it on Brewers or Arrows? He goes, oh, I think it's about this interchange of Brewers. I went, I ain't going there again.
So you have to go back and try to cover things up, or just leave them?
No, sometimes we have Ibra, blood money.
I get you. Yeah.
And there's other times for other work I can't talk about where I was carrying sacks of millions of dollars.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
But yeah, for this one, this is really funny because it's quite tame. Probably that photo.
Yeah.
And the Yanks would just brass everyone up, you know, and they'll just be pumping rounds. And sometimes, like one of the first night jobs that we did to pick up our crew from Taji, we were coming over senators to go to Abu Ghraib warehouse back home, and the Yanks were just having this huge fucking contact. You just see like everything just coming back at them. Like you see like fucking the trails from RPGs spiraling up, and just got my paraminimi out, and it was like going running up and down a convoy, like going, "Oi, we're in contact. Fucking get your gats." And they're like, I was sitting there like going, "This is really bizarre. Can you not see what's happening?" They're just like,
it's good that you still call them gats, like full gangster out, like the first Gatling gun.
No, it's an Aussie Army term.
Is it?
It's a gat.
Yeah.
It's like, where's my gat? Where's your gat? You know, shit like that. You sleep with your gat. You know? Yeah. But yeah, and so yeah, just lay down some rounds again, and then my team leader John Regan's going up to the MRAPs, and he's just like with a big bloody PVS 11, like the orange thing. I'm like going, John, show your white face, dickhead.
Really?
Yes. And like he has this massive spotty on him, all the insurgents are just fucking chucking rounds, and he's just ducking and diving. I'm like, just right up, just grabbed him. I'm like, we just lever calling. I go, what are we doing? He goes like, oh, I can see if we can drive past. I'm like going, I think they're busy, bro.
just fucking bullets and fucking shit everywhere.
You see the rear gunner just pumping like his pump. M240 Bravo. And he's just like, kind of like looking at us, like, back on the trigger, you know, he's just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Because we're basically at the back of his head, bro.
Fucking Aussies, eh?
Oh, mate. Oh, there's another one. And around about that time, we get held up because Yanks they're getting hit hard all the time, and we'd have to sit and wait. But I'm like, going, for fuck's sake, man, it's so boring. So contracting is all about being patient. You just sit and wait for things to happen. And so the Yanks are in contact again, and I found this old helmet, and I was just at the back chilling with Cole Dunphy. He was a young 19-year-old Marine, earned a Bronze Star, and his dad was DEA. I think he's FBI now. He was the chillest dude, into anime, everything, but like, you put him behind the trigger, he'll just go anywhere and just fucking cap anything for you. And he just doesn't give a fuck.
No shit.
And so just sitting there, just chilling with Cole, and just went like, oh, there's a helmet there. We just chucked it down there. There's all the traffic pushed back because no one comes near us. They're conditioned.
Yeah.
If they come within 100 metres, they know they're going to get brassed up.
Yeah.
So we all there just taking shots at the helmet, like going, I'm like, I thought that was a good shot. Like, what the fuck? And then everyone in the cars in the traffic jam just running, and I'm like going, and I went, like, ran out, got the helmet. There's so many holes in there because 5.56 goes through tin metal like something else.
Yeah.
Travels at like 9,000 meters per second, and the rounds are skipping off the street, off the road into the cars, and they're going into their cars, into the engines, and they're just going batshit crazy, legging it. And I'm sitting there like going, oh my, I felt so bad. I felt so bad, bro. And I was just like getting my road money out and just chucking out hundreds. Sorry. Adiasaf, sure. And like, because like some Iraqis, like Middle Eastern men, they like to have that manner. They're very patriarchal.
Yeah. And
don't want to show their pride or anything or their fear.
Very stoic.
Yeah. And he's just like going like,
no shit.
Guarantee he went home and he was like, fuck.
Yeah, that fucking cunt's trying to shoot us down, but he's just in your helmet.
Crazy Korean motherfuckers, bullets ricocheting.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a name. Because obviously I look like this.
Yeah.
And so there's that one.
What do you think of, is the war in Ukraine at the moment something everyone should be worried about? Because it's kind of fizzled out in the media. No?
Me personally, I'd love to be there. I've got mates there. I'll do it for free. Fuck, I'll be on a plane there this afternoon if I could.
Yeah.
What Russia's doing is very typical Russian warfare. They'll weaponise winter, they'll weaponise the weather, they'll stop any flow of their natural resources and stop the Ukraine. You know, they're the breadbasket of Europe. Them and us in Canada and the US, we produce all the grain. Their conventional warfare fighting is shit. It's just been hit by the dumbest smart weapons that the US has, or NATO has. You know, Javelin's been around for 20 years. Just ends any armour engagements. And Russians don't know how to fight war anywhere else. Look how long it took them to take Georgia, and how far they fumbled with Chechnya. You know, they're not that great. They win by numbers, sheer numbers. They'll throw numbers at you and ordnance at you and equipment at you until you run out of ammunition, basically, or ordnance chuck back at them.
They'll sacrifice people until it's fucking over.
They don't give a fuck. Yeah.
And the sad thing is, probably half of those cunts don't even want to be there. They're there out of fear. They're not there because of the love of their country or patriotism. They're there because they're fucking scared of Putin or his like enforcers.
When the Nazis invaded Russia in Operation Barbarossa, Russians call it the Great Patriotic War, and that's when they were quite willing to run machine guns, pretty much arm in arm. And not now. In fact, they've got family in Ukraine. Ukraine is like twin brothers to the US, to Russia. I mean, sorry. But yeah, they're no dummies.
But you wish you were, or not you wish, but if you got the call, you'd go over there as a contractor.
Well, I'll do it for free, but I've got my girls.
Yeah.
I won't even come back. I'll just stay there till I die. Just working, do what
Do
I
you
love.
see it going for a long time?
Depends.
On the out, yeah.
Depends on what these Vipers can do, F-16s. And depends on what Zelensky and the Ukrainians want. If they give the Rostock and Dovesky something, there's Rostock, there's something else that the Russians want. If they hand it over, it'll be over in an instant. But I think the Ukrainians want to keep their own territory. It's really interesting that China's trying to be the diplomat. Because you know why?
Yeah.
They've seen how the US has rolled Afghanistan. They've seen how the US have rolled Iraq in days. They see Russia struggle. And apparently Russia have got the latest, greatest super weapons, next generation carrier killers that the Chinese have. It's all propaganda and bullshit. This is why China's now trying to be a statesman. And they want to engineer peace so they have a new status as a world power.
Is China something? China's definitely something to worry about, in your opinion? No. China terrify me.
Why?
I don't know. They just seem really fucking unhinged.
Think of how desperate they are.
That's why
To get
they
the
scare
tech.
me. Yeah.
No, to get the tech. Chinese are very well respected in Asia. They're seen as very wise, and it's generational for Chinese. What an ambitious immigrant in the US will do from a Polish background, they'll become generationally rich in their lifetime. They've got that opportunity. Chinese are very conservative. They want to know the outcome before they do something.
Mm.
They want to know the outcome before they do something.
Not risk takers.
They know they will never face or win a conventional war against the West. They won't do anything until they're certain, and that will never happen. That's my opinion.
That's comforting.
That is very comforting.
That's my opinion.
Your opinion's probably a lot more valid than anyone else I know.
Oh, I don't know. Well, look like who bent over, pulled his pants and spread their ass cheeks to get fucked up the ass? North Korea. Everyone was scared shitless of Trump. Put Trump back in power. Putin will wind his head back in. China won't do anything. North Korea won't be doing anything.
See, I've said the same thing. I can see Trump going back in just because, as much as people don't like him, people of other countries either respected him or they were scared of him.
I've talked to this about a lot of people. What we see on the world stage is pretty much a kindergarten fight for toys. 3-year-olds fighting for toys in a kindergarten sandlot.
Yeah.
They're fighting for resources. And when Trump kind of went away, there's a huge power vacuum. Biden's not a person to be respected on the world stage.
No,
So everyone was looking to become top dog.
Yep.
Yeah. It was like when a fucking gang leader dies and everyone wants to be the new gang leader.
Yep. That's exactly right. So they need to put someone that is respected as president to get the... You know, there used to be a lot of respect about the office of the president.
It's a joke now.
Yeah.
It's become a
Yeah.
massive joke.
Yeah.
That job has been over the last 8 years. That job has just gone. It used to be prestigious. I remember when I was a kid. I used to even, but now I watch American politics for the humor in it.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like watching a Joe Biden interview is one of the simple life.
Have you seen his instructions? It's like walk left, go up the stairs,
Yeah.
stand
Breathe.
in front of the microphone,
Breathe.
breathe in, breathe out, say hello.
Would you private contract for Joe Biden?
No.
Why not?
No.
Why not? That'd be a fat check.
Oh, mate.
You get to hang out with his son Hunter.
No, I'll kick him out of the car. What? Okay, I won't say what. I've worked for a lot of embassies. I work for a lot of governments.
Yeah.
There's certain staff with their diplomatic passport that you have to turn around when you're in an Indian country and just go, right, mate, here's the score. You treat us like shit. I'm the team leader. What I say goes out here. Would you like to go back and have a hot shower and dinner? Oh, yes, please. Or the alternative, I'll take your passport and sell you for $2 million. Now will you be a bit nicer to us? He goes, you can't do that. You get arrested. You get put in jail. I'm like, no, I won't.
No one will know.
Not just that. I'm a private contractor. I'm a person. I've got rights. I know more people than you do around here. Plus, if I sell you, it's not illegal. It's unethical.
They'll pull their head in quick smart.
They did. This is why I like cargo, not people.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's why he's such a nice guy again. You're bringing it down, just breaking it down to simple terms so somebody can understand.
Well, I don't like to do that. You think that people just treat you nicely. If I went to a fucking place like that and I've got like these...
Those certain people, though, people who just got fucking... who have everyone sucking up. It's not good for you for everyone to be nice to you all the time and suck up your ass. Because then you just get such a false, like, confidence that you shouldn't have.
Yeah. I don't understand people like that, bro.
You would have knocked boots with you would have been around a lot of those. I've never really met any. I've never been in those kind of circles where I'd have the opportunity to meet that level of cunt.
Oh, Angus Campbell. Yeah, I'll say that right to the camera.
Who's that?
If I had you in the car again, cunt, I would fucking sell you.
He's the Minister of Whole of Defence. Like all of it, like Navy.
He's the Chief of Defence.
Oh, fuck you, Angus Campbell.
Yeah, I've known him since 2010.
I can't say.
I shouldn't say that.
I wish I sold him. I would have sold him for free.
Marketplace.
You would have rehomed him.
Yeah, like I've got mates, like all my fighting force are all locals.
Yeah.
And I keep in touch with them because like a lot of people just can't work people out, and I'm like, they're a person. Let's give them water. Let's give them food. They want to pray. We'll stop. Let them pray. If we're going to get them food, let's make sure it's halal.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. If they're not allowed in certain bases, well, I'll stay out and I'll sleep in the trucks with them. That's what leadership is to me.
Yeah.
And they're my people. I've got to look after them. And that's what I'll do for them. Some people, some of the Yanks and some of the other expats, they just love to go to the big gyms, nice mess. They want to be the cool kid on the block, you know.
Treat people like shit.
Yeah, and meanwhile, all your fighting forces out there getting hungry, wet, cold, dirty, you know.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of respect from even the troops that we were looking after. They're just like, you treat your guys really well, man. We like you. We like you, man. We like your style. And I just go, oh, I don't know, mate. Fucking hell. Yeah. Yanks are something else, man.
I was going to say, would you say that the American Army is the greatest army the world's ever seen, as people say?
Right now, the US is a superpower, Pax Americana. Fucking oath. The most powerful fucking force or entity that the world has ever known.
But that's backed by a ridiculous amount of money as well, though.
Well, the innovation and the brain power, like, yeah, you can't beat that. Yeah. When you get paid and celebrated to invent something that'll disrupt an industry and revolutionise it, what other society does that but the US?
Yeah.
What's your favourite army or warrior or like group? I'm talking Mongols, Comanches.
Oh, Mongols.
Mongols?
Yeah.
Ruthless motherfuckers.
No, they weren't.
Really?
No, they weren't.
Short kings though. Average height was like 5'4", 5'5".
Well, that was tall.
That was normal back then.
That was tall back then.
Yeah.
That's
So
why everyone talks about Napoleon. He was normal back then.
I was above average back then.
No, the Mongols were very fair. They set up the Pony Express before the Pony Express was set up. They civilised a lot of the nations. They welcomed. It was a true meritocracy. There's a famous one of Jeeb who shot him with an arrow, Yingus, and this is before he came calm, and he went, I like you, you got fucking balls, that was a good shot, I rate you, can we be mates? Yep, came home as greatest generals. So they worked in tunements, and a tumen is 10,000, and they invented the recurve bow that can punch steel plate armour at 60 metres.
Really?
Yeah. And so they decimated armoured knights. They conquered Russia. They conquered everything they went against. It was only upon the eve of the death of Kublai Khan when they were just about to roll into France.
No shit.
Yep. And all the Tumans got called back. And then they started to focus more on China, and they started to focus more on Japan.
That's crazy, because I wonder what the world would be like if they just kept going through France.
Or you'll be looking like me.
That was quick.
He's been waiting. He's like, fuck. Finally. I met an ethnic and they said it.
Killer.
Oh, that's fucking good. Is there a dictator that which dictator throughout history would you love to have killed?
I don't like killing, bro.
Or love to? How about just punch in the nose?
Oh, that list is very long.
What's at the top of it?
I won't say his name, but he will know who he is if he's listening. But in terms of dictators that need a punch in the dick as a baby, fucking Hitler.
Hitler's probably the one. He's
Yeah.
probably the only one. Oh, he's not the only, but he'd have to be at the top of everyone's list.
Take part.
Khrushchev, Stalin, Pol Pot, and there's another one.
Who was the
I
voodoo
don't
man?
and Mayo. What do you mean
The voodoo. Oh, they called him the voodoo. He was the dictator of not the Congo. Fuck.
Liberia?
Liberia.
Yeah.
Papa Doc.
I think.
Papa.
Are you talking about Coney?
No.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember Coney? That was a thing for a
2012,
while.
Yeah.
That blew up.
Oh, they had like these.
Was that child slave? What was that? Was that child soldiers?
Yeah. But it was basically just using them for diamond mines and child slavery. Yeah, and child soldiers. That's horrendous. What's going on there?
That still goes on.
Yeah, I've done work in places that I can't talk about, but yeah, it was basically stopping human trafficking, like that type of shit. I'll work for free. I'll fucking kill anyone to stop that.
And do you know they said the other day that's a fucking like $22 billion yearly industry.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
$22 fucking billion a year.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm exaggerating. It was either 2 or 22, but 2 doesn't sound like enough,
Big
so
enough.
it's 22.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
means it's a full industry. That means somebody's buying. The willing purchasers on one side.
And
That
I
means
just don't fucking. How do they transport them? Like, and how does it go so unseen to the general public?
people get paid off.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is going to get me deep into fucking
The
conspiracy.
catacomb.
Yeah. There's like-
I hate it because I believe that happened to me.
Really?
What do you mean?
I didn't ask to get adopted here.
You're adopted here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't ask for it. I still remember my life in South Korea.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So how old were you?
I've got a really good memory.
Yeah, but how old were you when you came over to Australia?
5, and I got memories from when I was 2.
I was going to
still
say, you
my
can
mother.
remember shit. You can remember
Yeah.
shit when you're like about 3 or 4,
Yeah.
briefly.
Yeah.
So
You know my childhood, bro. It wasn't great.
No.
have you ever contacted your parents or anything? No.
Don't give a fuck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go back to contracting. Let's have a funny story.
Yes.
So everyone's all in about these nangs and huffing. Everyone was doing it like you should. Some of the, like especially down in Ramadi and Fallujah, and there's a huge base near. It's called TQ behind AR Ramadi.
Mhm.
No one knows too much about it. Secret schools shit flies out of there, but all the bases are dark. Thousands of troops. A lot of DUIs happen. A lot of rapes happen.
Really?
It's really dark.
Yeah.
And then you got gangs of locals or African guards and stuff. They'll prey on the US soldiers.
So they take the soldiers?
Yeah. Yeah. Just rape them.
no shit.
Get them drunk.
Yeah.
Rape them. It's pretty bad.
That's like that movie Lord of War with Nicolas Cage. How he goes into somewhere and these hookers give him all these drugs, and one thing leads to another, like gunpowder or something.
Oh no, he's in Africa, and they all got HIV.
Yeah.
So he won't touch them, won't go near them.
Getcha.
Yeah.
There's a fucking really good movie that's based on a war. I don't know if it was a true story about a warlord in Africa that ran a child slave. A child. He used children as his troops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beast of No Nation.
Beast of No Nation. That's a fucking
bad.
great movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
Have you seen it?
No.
It's fucking really confronting too.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty intense movie to watch
Yeah.
because you can see how he kind of grooms them into becoming his soldiers. Like he's really fucking nice to them.
Yeah.
And then he loads them up. He's like, "Oh, try this," and he'll give him a little bit of fucking heroin or whatever he was using.
I get you.
And then And then he will be like, "Oh, we got to run through this," but it's fucking. And then he'll abuse them, and it's crazy. But
the thing is, Sav, killing is a drug. Once you've done it, and you realise how easy it is,
Yeah.
you have to consciously turn it off.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's that powerful a drug.
is it more the? Is it the rush or the thing that you bested them, or what is the thing that entices it to?
I've seen people go down that road, and it's just about power.
Well, that's why serial killers kill.
Yeah.
For that that extreme amount of power they have over that person.
Yeah.
And the funny story is, anyway, so there's huffing and there's nangs, and we had this dude, first team leader named Iron Man, and he's proud that he had like fucking shits in his body. That's why we call him Iron Man, because he'd been through stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool, we've got a war veteran here. He's been through the shit. He's team leader. Yep. He goes, oh, yep. So do you want to jump in as my 2RC? Okay, yeah, all right, mate. Which means that fucking hell I have to do all this paperwork. So we're coming down we're going past Baghdad, and it's not the best area, but it's not that bad. And everyone just goes, actually drive up and down. It's just a road, mate. Yeah, shit might go off, but who knows? I ride a jigsaw. I have so many fucking old people just skittle me off the road. I stare at some people, and when I'm riding, I'm like, don't. They just move out in front of me.
Really?
I'm more scared being on my jigsaw here than I was over in like Afghanistan.
Yeah.
That's because I kind of knew the pucker factor. Like, I knew that, yep, I may die today, I'm at peace with it, I've got a job to do, let's go.
Yeah.
But when I jump on my bike, I don't expect to get fucking...
Oh, here?
Yeah.
There's some other stories alone in that. I'm not sure we can say it here, but you don't mind going quick. Ever since McDonald's days.
You're a bit of a spade demon.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in Macca's days, you came off and it was a wet night, and lucky you had your backpack on, because down Lonsdale Highway, I'm not sure how you fell off it, but you were just sliding on your back like a turtle.
Nah, it went. So that one, I ripped up all my arm and all my left leg. Yeah. That was my second one. The first one I did was coming back from uni, going home to Murray Road. Yeah. And I got cut off, but I was laying back with my hands, my head and my feet in the steering wheel, and got cut off. No, I could only just lean left and went straight to the gravel. I was like, well, that wasn't great. And I used to wake up and my mum would have to peel away the scabs again. So yeah, I guess that's where my pain tolerance came from.
Yeah.
But anyway, this guy, we're cruising down, and shit started to go bang, and people started to go missing, people dying and stuff like that. And job's on. Okay, cool, brilliant. And so the convoy is probably about up to 3 to 4 k's long, which people don't understand. And we're traveling like 130 k's an hour. Yeah. And then like all of a sudden, see all these brake lights come on, and I see like all this shit like fucking fireworks come off, and I'm hearing like Doug's just hitting everything like on we used obviously jammers, frequency hoppers, and MTS and all these trackers, SATCOMs, and basically told everyone that we're in the shit. And I'm sitting there watching it all, and I'm on the sat phone back to base. I'm like going talking to Jeremy, Jezza. He goes, "So you're right. We're on the roof. We can talk anyway." I think we're right. I don't know what you're on about, bro. My MTS is going off. I don't know what Doug's not in the front. He goes, oh, fucking, he's saying there's a massive contact. And I'm going, yeah, I'm seeing probably some RPGs and some trace. I think everything will be okay. I'm just calling. Can you just keep the kitchen open? I'm really hungry because we're running late. Yeah. I'm going, oh, can you get us hot boxes, bro? It's like,
so that's a convoy 5k long.
Yeah.
No shit. Yeah, so whereabouts would you have been in the mix in that convoy?
As a team leader, I was at the front.
Yeah.
But as 2RC, I was at the rear. Yep. So basically, the front and the rear get hit first. Yeah. And it bogs everything down, and then they tie in. Especially if it's an L-shaped ambush, they'll just cut you up.
Yeah.
and just take everything what they want.
I get you. Yeah.
No shit.
But yeah, and then that night he was just there, and he was just on the how you clean your laptop. It's called Dust Off.
Yeah.
And you go into a PX. It's like a massive Walmart, and this is like cheap as chips on steroids.
Yeah.
It's like Costco, and they got them in the middle of fucking bumfuck Fallujah and Tikrit and fucking. You should have seen Candy Bar or Kandahar. It's just, they call it the boardwalk. You can almost have a romantic night out there with all the restaurants and,
Yeah.
you know, Tim
Oh,
Hortons. Yeah, like, that's why I've got the saying, Afghanistan or Iraq, some experiences aren't the same as others.
I get you.
Yeah. These are all the pokes. It's why we hate them.
Yeah.
Shit. And so after you, so when you went to do this like Secret Service more kind of work,
Oh no, it's modelled after Secret Service, but it's called PSD. It's not
yeah.
Secret
So when
Service,
you
Protected Services.
when you went to do that, what was the go after that? Where did you go from after that?
Here you go. This is how I feel about being a PPO, Personal Protection Officer. Pull string to hear client brief. PPO ain't rocket science. Yeah.
So did you do that for a few years?
Yeah, did that through embassy engagements and stuff, and that was just playing a game of hide, because it's just like being in the army. And like, look, I love Aussies, but on the circuit, fuck, I hated working with them. I'd rather work with Yanks.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the Aussies would be more calm and the Yankees be so much more bravo.
Yanks are just, or Brits. We can't get drawn into their political infighting.
Yep.
But with other Aussies, that's all it is. And you just go like, fucking pull your head in, mate. Like, you're TRG or SOG or fucking Starry. Just calm your farm, bro. Okay?
Yeah.
Just, yeah. Because everyone just wanted perfection and everything like this and that. I just go, yeah, I've run pretty missions, but then shit goes sideways. Have you allowed for that? Have you adjusted time? People need to be fed and watered. You got to have like air coverage, like where's the bandwidth? You got to plan, like, you got to have concentric bubbles of communication and air cover for someone does get hit for dust off, you know, calling a 9-line, just shit like that. Just, people just don't think. And you just go like, well, you're not just going out there and just praying and praying. Like, there's an actual professional application of how you go about it.
Yeah.
And I think the more people saw me do that, the more they wanted me working for them. Because like I said, I was going back into commandos, and this is really interesting. At Defence Recruiting, this bloke named Volvo, I shouldn't say this name. Beep. Yeah, and he just goes up to me, and he just goes, oh mate, yeah, I know you. Can you just tone things down a bit, you know, be respectful and nice and chill, because we've got 16-year-old kids and they're about to enter into the ADF.
I get you, yeah.
I go, yeah, don't worry, it's all cool. And then I'm there in dress jeans, got ripped, and I didn't have I had my gold Breitling, and I had long hair and had a really nice Abercrombie and Fitch collared shirt.
Yeah.
Just sitting there reading the army mag. There's about 40 16-year-old kids all dressed in ill-fitting suits, standing there just scared shitless.
Yeah.
And I've got this chick does the roll call, old lady. And then she goes, Mckay, Sun, direct entry, special forces. Everyone's just looking at me, and I'm like, you got that wrong, I'm sorry. And she goes, what do you mean? I went, no, I'm already qualified, I'm going back to my unit. And you can just hear a pin drop. And I'm just like, no, like, I'm not lying, can you check it? And then she goes, well, she comes out, she goes, oh yeah, sorry.
So they're going to make you go through it again?
Oh, they made me do the process again,
Yep.
but when the minute or the signal goes to the unit,
Yep.
gets up to the RSM and the CO, they just
Yep.
go, yeah, we want him back.
I get you.
Yeah, and I would have just gone back in.
Yeah.
And then I was applying for the AFP as well, and then I got a phone call, I reckon that afternoon. I was washing my sister's car, and I was living up in Campbelltown, and there's a fella named Ferry Bess. Okay, we'll call him Ferry Bess. People who listen to this will know him. And he calls me up, and I just go, what are you doing, Ferry? Where were you a couple of years ago? I would have fucking chopped my arm off to work for you. He goes, oh, we're looking after, we need some fucking medics, PSD medics. There's people here who really rate you highly and stuff like that. They say you got a really good reputation, and you've been through some shit and you can do the stuff, and you're not a contact dodger. Like we call them contact dodgers when you're in contact and getting brassed up.
And they're nowhere to be seen.
No, they're just shit
Count
pants,
down.
mate.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the last thing you have to get out there. And not that I fucking would know, but I'm gonna sure when push comes to shove, you need to do some serious shoving.
Oh, it's fun. You don't seem to understand. Like
It's like paintball, but with longer lasting effects.
no, well, year round actually goes where you want it to go,
Yeah.
And you're playing for keeps. I only ever want to play for keeps.
Yeah.
I got sick of playing games and
Do
exercises.
you know what we'll do? We'll do a YouTube video one day where me and you have to hide, and he has to try and find us with a paintball.
Done.
No, we use something called simunition, which is way better.
Is that like airsoft?
Way better.
What better?
So it's basically a wax round. It will still travel initially about 2,700 feet per second, but it's effective range of 125 meters.
Yeah.
But I could clip you anywhere on your face, and I want at 100 meters with that.
So
No shit.
that would sting.
Yes, people have lost their eye.
Yeah, imagine that.
So
would
we'll go
fucking-
full safety.
No, I want to lose my eye.
No.
But so you were saying?
Simunition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shit. Yeah, and I've got sick of training with simunition. I just wanted real rounds, like let's get on the tools, let's actually do the job. It's like training for the Olympics and being like, no, 2020 isn't happening, you're going to have to do 2021.
I get you.
So all these athletes have to go, fuck, now we've got to have to talk to the coaches, nutritionists, we got to do like about taper down time, rest period, ramp up, and then have a peak, good performance, solid training, rest, and then aim for peak again at the games.
Yeah.
It's a big fuck around, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's the approach that I take to...
Military, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you met this Fairy Best, is it, guy?
He called me.
He called me.
Yeah. And I go, no, I'm going back in. He goes, when are you going to get back in? I've got a signal, I think probably around about, downtime, big Christmas, so it'd be good time for me to get up on the range again and, get up to speed with different drills, whatever, different people and all that. And he goes, well, you could do a 2-month trip. I went, or I could just spend my time at home. He goes, well, it's $1,000 a day. Okay, Terry, I could be on the plane this afternoon. The next morning I was.
No shit.
Yep.
And where did that
Yeah,
take
like
you?
60 grand
Can you
2
say?
weeks,
Can
2
you say
months.
where that one was?
Yeah, that was back in Baghdad.
That was back in Iraq.
And one of the boys that talked me up, he'd left the convoy contract that I was in because, we were getting cunted. And he's like saying to me, this is a death contract, bro. You're going to die. I went, what do you think I came here for?
Make it. Oh, you actually come to die. Like, you thought that would have been just it.
Yep.
Fuck, you haven't told me that.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, fucking it. So you were like just ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know what's next.
Yeah.
Didn't find out that time.
Well, but you only got 4 score on 10, don't you?
Yeah.
I want to know what's next.
Well, we're going to be old grey men before you know it.
I already am, bro. Look at me, I couldn't even run to your house.
And what year was that?
That was 2008.
And when did your career in everything end? Like, what year did that kind of your life end?
The morning of May 12, 2016, when my mate took his own life in front of me.
May 12th, 2016. That's the article that comes up. It's that case there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking rough. And so that you were working at the embassy, or you were just at the embassy?
No, working.
Working.
Yeah.
As a private protection officer, or?
Yeah, doing that. That's the biggest load of wank on the face of the earth, bro. And you got all these hard charging thrusters. They're like, I want to be the one protecting the client, be in the suit and shit. And I went, yeah, go for your life, mate. You don't get paid more. It's more work. And the shoes that we got are real shit. So the first thing I bought was a set of really nice hush puppies. Because you're standing for 12 hours a day outside a room.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
While they have their fucking meetings.
Yeah.
And you're just there as an ornament.
Yeah. Like a
and
deterrent.
so we used to have like for real fucking frequency hopping and jammers and shit.
Yeah.
And so the Iraqis started making what we call egg beaters out of their fucking like welding shops and just place them on their fucking SUVs to look like us. But they don't work. They're not actually cutting out phone signals.
Getcha.
So if you look really good and you're the part, you know, you get a bit of respect, you know, from your hosts.
Yeah.
And especially if you're respectful to them and they see me everywhere. Apparently I've got a face that fucking doesn't really fit in amongst the white people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always got smashed to do that. Just looking after, you know, prime ministers and other world leaders,
Yeah.
all the VVIPs. And I'm like, I don't enjoy this. They go, why's that? And I went, well, I get paid the same if I sat, because I was a team medic as well.
Yeah.
I'd sit in the back car, take all my kit off, aircon be pumping, music, listen to my own fucking music, I'm reading,
Yeah.
or I'll be on my phone fucking scrolling and I have my laptop. 6 hours goes by like that, and everyone's just so, oh, stand by, 30 seconds, okay, be professional again, yep. Drive back to the embassy and be like, yes, job's done.
No
I
shit.
don't get paid more to be wearing my fucking stupid clown suit, my plates. It's fucking hot, man. It's like
Yeah.
60 Celsius.
Just for show as well.
Yeah, and everyone's like going, oh, yeah, you know, this is all sexy and cool. And I go, no, it's not, bro.
Yeah.
And then when Turnbull came over, fucking, they didn't trust anyone but me. The Iraqis. They wouldn't even let, like, the secret squirrel SF in.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't... Should I not be saying this?
It's your story, dude. I will.
I personally don't give a fuck.
That's like years ago now.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any secret act, but I was the only protection he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the SF boys are sitting down, and they call it Angel Down. And I think they did a movie about it. So
Yeah.
we had like fucking SEALs, Delta, all sorts of call signs. There was a B1 fucking circling around.
On his
Ready to lay
arrival.
down.
So
Yeah.
when he was there, all that sort of stuff is going
Yep.
on.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that's the difference between when they call Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 Special Forces. It doesn't matter about what you can do or your unit is capable of. It's about what assets you have on station when you go to do a job.
I get you. Yeah.
So Tier 1 will have a lot of funding and money. They'll have a lot of air power around them. They'll have a lot of Kazakhstan assets, and they'll have Tier 2 assets as their backup.
No shit.
Yeah.
And how long were you at the embassy before all that shit happened?
Oh, gee, I worked to actually get that contract for the company in 2008, 2009. Like, I think some of the generals we were presenting to, they didn't even know what tension pneumothorax was. And they're like, none of your medics can know how to do a needle thoracentesis. And I'm like, we've never heard of it. I went, I'm sure your medics have, because Australia's been at war for a long time now. And what does it mean? I went, well, for your second pleural space, I'll put this needle in there. And they're like, really? Yes. Your pleural lining's actually being fucked up. A lot of pressure is pushing that lung. That pressure's got to be alleviated.
Yeah.
And then that may develop, depending on how bad or how poorly hemodynamically unstable they are, can turn into a pneumothorax. And that's when you go do a chest drain. Done that. Yeah, more times than I can count.
Really? Out of the field when everything's going on and you got your homie down.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
So that's where it sucks being a medic. But I used to like long contacts where, you know, you're shooting and engaging, shooting and moving. You have time, just go and fucking have a rip it, have it, or power horse. Go have a piss, talk to your mate. Go, yeah, what's going on? I don't know, fuck, this is a bit shit, eh? Yeah, what you got left? Oh, do you reckon we could drive up there and just fucking crumple them? No, I don't know, man, that PKM. And so, yeah, and then just go back on the trigger and just like, right, fucking break your head up, cunt.
So what would you classify as a long contact?
Oh, gee, anything over 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
That's a long contact.
Yeah.
Over 5. I would
Yeah.
imagine that would have been pretty quick.
No, like when you're in contact, time slows down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That 5 minutes the last
And
a lifetime.
Dude, if I was fucking hammering you, 5 minutes would seem like
A
eternity.
lifetime.
Yeah.
And you realise that they've prepared the ground. So you're in there.
So any step you make could fucking be your last one.
Yeah. So you got to be very careful about what you do.
Fuck, that would be the worst.
So my SOP was, if you get crumped and you still like, I've driven cars with just one wheel going, you don't go to your first safe haven. It's too obvious.
Yep.
They've got devices there and they'll initiate. And it's happened before.
Yep.
So you go to your third. You don't ever go to your primary or secondary safe havens. You go to your tertiary.
Yeah.
And you got to be very secret squirrel what you plan. I only tell my locals the primary plan. I don't tell them the secondary. And then they'll just go, Mr. Sun, why do we have like the Apaches? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
They're just here.
But we have class 5.
Yeah.
So anything hits us, I'll just... Because Marines need their fucking bullets and bombs.
No, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. So obviously when people watch this, they're gonna, like, if you Google Sun's name, all this shit comes up, and you were part of like a, was it lengthy, that the whole
3 years
3 years from start to finish?
under investigation for murder.
And can you, or obviously it's actually over now, but can you go into that from your perspective of your side of the story as much as you can, or as you're able to?
From now, I would say that I think he's up there just having a fucking laugh at me about the shit he's chucked me into. But yeah, can I have a quick toilet break and just have another one?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
sec, I'll just pause this. We're back. Everyone's emptied. Everyone still has their penis.
Emptied and reloaded.
Someone was looking at everyone's penis and he was like, fuck, I'd love to shoot that off.
Yeah, mate, as soon as I saw you in the bugs, I'll be like, I can't miss that. It's too big.
Oh, fuck. So this is probably the bit that
Yeah.
a lot of people that are watching are waiting for. So I'm excited to hear from the man himself.
Okay. So I've known Betsy since 2007, and there's a fellow whose call sign was Grey Man, and I've a lot of respect for Betsy and Grey Man. They did some loose shit, and they've been hit hard with V-beds, car bombs, and EFPs. Like, Betsy's been crumped. Like, he's had his client die in his arms, and then he's gone up, picked up his gat and dusted people. So I'm like, fucking hats off to you, man. Fucking awesome. And he used to roll around with Delta team, and he had just got married and talked to another mate of his, and he was just expressing concerns that this is his first real relationship, and then he just went and got married to Colombian Bird, and he's like, he's really struggling. And so got along with Betsy pretty well. He wanted to come over, and we needed someone to come over. The Ministry of Interior weren't releasing any visas, and I went, Betsy's got a visa, let's get him on board, get him into the team. So that happened, and we became really good mates. Used to go out and leave together, and he asked me, like, what are you doing with your money? And I went, oh, well, I'm not pissing against a wall, mate, I'm investing it. He goes, well, what should I do? And I go, what do you got? He goes, oh, I got my XR6, bought a house. I went, well, you know about equity and these pay drives, you got a contract for 5 years, you can use that to leverage. He goes, what's leveraging? I went, well, you got the security, you can pay, you can make the collateral calls, you can start investing at a higher amount than what you are actually worth. He goes, can I do that? I went, yes, mate. He goes, oh, okay. So he used to talk about a fair bit about that. And then he told me that he attempted selection, and stupidly I went, oh, what'd you fail, mate? Because obviously if he'd made it and got in, he wouldn't be there. And he went, oh, I failed the 20 clicker, and I fucking cracked up laughing. I'm like going, you're a fucking para, mate, and you fucked up the 20 clicker.
What's the 20 clicker?
It's a timed 20k march on SASR selection, and you got to do it under, I think a good time probably be about anything under 3 hours. So if you can steady 6 k's an hour with heavy shit, you're doing well.
Yeah.
And he missed both cut-off times because they'd let you retrain, redo it again, and you missed it. And if you fail that, any failing on any type of SF selection, no, you can't go commandos. You can't be part of the special forces at all. And he told me about that, and I'm like, fucking hell, mate. why didn't you tell me? Like, you could have come and asked me for advice. I would have told you, like, do heaves, do push-ups, run, get your pack, weigh it down, and fucking run, cunt. And he just goes, why? And I'm like, that's what you do on selection, you fucking moron. And he's like, oh, what about bench pressing and doing all that? And I went, I've never seen anyone bench press, mate. First day, and he goes, what happens on day dot? Day dot, you land, everyone finds out who's who in the zoo. You get the lyrics to Lily Marlene, you got to learn a language called Marduk, and then you just get, then you got to stomp to Bindoon. No, we didn't, no. I think it's at Campbell Barracks, you just get stripped naked for 5 hours, about 200 dudes, you're just naked. And you just be like, be really uncomfortable to get a boner right now. Like, yeah, there's some pretty hot looking dudes though. But there'll be chicks going in and out everywhere, and they'll be like making notes, and they'll point at your dick and make notes. And they'll be like just going like, oh no, if I stand out too much, you become a target. They don't want people to stand out. So I was just like going like, oh, no, I was smiling with my eyes. Just I could tell that I was just thinking this is a load of piss. But yeah, so Betsy failed selection, and we made plans anyway to go out for leave, and I said, bro, do you want me to get a hotel this time? And because he was my driver, and I asked him, for him and this other fella would, and the AMBO just wanted me as a PPO and take turns with someone else, Shanners, and we were going to Mofa that morning, and it was an early job. It was an 8 o'clock job, so we'd have to get up at 5:36, wash the cars, everyone's suited and booted, looking schmeck. Finish the job, come back, all our shit was packed up, ready to go, hand in our gats, grabbed our shit, straight to the airport, fly out to Dubai, get on the gas, you know. And so sometimes at night, like, he'll just fall asleep next to me, like my couch will be here, like my room would be double the size of this, and my bed was on that side, and the couch was there, my TV's there, and I did some, you know, used to do some warming up before I go to the gym and stuff, or I work at my kit and gear and see like which way, you know, I have my gat and stuff to do my draw, wearing a suit, shit like that. But that night, everything was fine. You know, people coming in and out, saying goodbye, stuff like that, going, yeah, see you in a fucking month. What do you want from Australia? You know, we'll call it the big PX. You know, what can you get from Big PX? And I'll just write to them sometimes. Like a week before, I'll start to get my mind back in. Yep, I'm going back to work. Boys, what can I pick you up from Big W or whatever? So, can you bring this and this? It'll be a lot of desk drawer organisers and HMI cables and chargers for phones. Yeah. That type of shit. And, yeah, so we were both falling asleep. I reckon I was asleep. I think I normally keep my gats hot, so there's always one up the spout, but not on the embassy contract, because that was very different, because especially when I was doing convoys, I'd always have a hot gat, and I'd always sleep with a gat. I think all my gats were bred to be handed into the army, so it was just, everything's just clean, all lined up. I wouldn't even rack them, especially going to Mofa. Wouldn't need it, and it would just be like, you know, there as a tool if I need it. And that night, I reckon it'd be about 2 o'clock in the morning. I think he was just getting up, and I was asleep on my back like I do, and I turn around and go, all right, night bro, you headed off? He goes, yep. You know, hit me up if you want help with the car. He goes, yeah, no worries, man. I was about to go back to sleep. He went and picked up, and that's the door, that's the desk where my gat is. I went and picked my gat up, my Glock, got a mag in there, put it in, seated it. I think, no, did he try to go to the door? But what I remember, he seated the mag, and hearing that, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then he racked it. And the big thing is, panic station when he put his finger on the trigger. We index. Well, all our weapons, we index.
You always got your finger straight.
Yeah, it's off the trigger.
Just around the...
Yeah, but he had his finger on the trigger. That's amateur hour. That's, someone's going to use it. and he was walking up to me, like, he had a weird look in his eye, and I think I hit the lights, and I was standing like going, "What the fuck are you doing, mate? Just fucking chill out." And it was just over that quick. He just sat down, go to his head, bang.
What the fuck?
And the round, apparently, I think the AFP told me the round bounced around, just missed me, and it was there on my desk in front of my TV.
So the actual bullet inside his head went in and around and...
No, it went straight straight through his head and hit the wall a few times.
I get you.
Ricocheted around.
Yeah, and thank God for CSI and forensics, because they're like, I think they could pick where I was actually standing. I had no powder residue on me at all. And I think the first instinct was to basically make sure he was alive. And then I was like going, fuck, I need help. So I started sprinting, banging doors. Like, wake the fuck up, Betsy shot himself, wake the fuck up. You know, I'm like trying to get him down to the med bay. And it's not the first time. Another one we had passed away due to myocardial infarct. And so basically on dust off, took him to the US Embassy side where DynCorp took him to further to the actual hospital, and I was there basically on the stretcher just doing CPR and just, you know, all his ribs just bouncing, and yeah, that was hard. And then losing Betsy again was pretty hard, and I don't remember a lot except there was a lot of blood and trying to pack his head wound. My mates are around trying to help me, and then they just said fucking like it just kind of hit me, and I was just screaming like, why the fuck did you do it, Bessie? Then another mate of mine, Dave, we started at the company together, and then he ended up being ops manager. He just grabbed me in a big bear hug and just kind of looked after me and took me away, and they were working on him for 2-3 hours, but yeah, no, he passed away. And just...
And what was it like, more so afterwards, when they were trying to say all that heinous shit about you?
I didn't care. I cared about
you. Didn't care about that.
Yeah. People say what the fuck they want about me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I guess to deal with shame, I guess when you talk about that, I mean, we grew up in the 80s down south.
Yeah.
Looking like we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Racism's everywhere.
Yeah. So people want to say that about me in the papers. I'm more worried about my fucking mate and topped himself. Yeah. So
that's just a fucking... So there were no signs, no like...
Yeah, there were.
Now that you look back on there were signs?
It's really hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, it's a hard thing.
But that's
what I could have done.
Hindsight's 2020 with all these things.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I've had one of my best mates topped himself, and you always look back and you're like, fuck this. He tried to do it previously as well, years ago, but then it was like, oh, he's better now. Yeah. And then they just randomly fucking do it, and you're like, oh, hindsight's fucking 2020.
Do you know what my biggest indicator was for him? Because like he's probably one of the loveliest blokes you'll ever meet on the face of the earth. But some of the med scenarios that we were running, I made sure they're fucking intense with what I've been through. Like, I've got to make sure people are actually going to
can hold their own.
Yeah. And he'll just be taking his gloves off, shaking, and he'll just be sweating everywhere. And I'm like going, fuck, that's a trauma response from...
The exercise you just put him through?
From 2007, 2008, when he was just getting fucking fucked and wailed.
Yeah.
And like, some of the boys on that contract had to pull him out of the windshield because the car just got blown in half.
I guess
his client's bilateral amputation. Just dead.
Yeah.
Do you carry like extreme amounts of PTSD for all the time you've spent overseas and
a lot of people have asked me about
all that?
No.
You don't?
I'm very aware of my mental health. I put my hand up if I'm struggling. I've had an awesome psychologist and psychiatrist.
So you've always been really open with your emotions.
Yeah.
You haven't been one that's come back and fucking tried to bury it all down.
No, that's
to an
never
extent,
been me.
yeah.
No, I don't deny, don't hide them.
Do you think that's a
That's
a massive problem with the military, isn't it?
I think that's a massive problem
With everyone.
with anyone who's got pride.
Yeah.
I mean, surely you want to be seen as a highly functioning, capable individual.
Yeah.
You want to take some pride in yourself. I don't have any.
No, when I hang out with certain, like, I try to keep everything calm, like, because I'm pretty trying to keep everything calm, like, around my house before, like, everything's chill, making sure he's still cool, coming over, all that kind of stuff. I've been out playing pool with him, been around his house, like, he seems, as much as seen, he's operational.
It's good enough.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers for that.
Oh, cheers. Appreciate it. Thanks, brother. Thank you.
So suck shit to all the media sources that didn't get an interview.
See you right, Sav.
Because he's in my shed with my fucking $300 camera.
Oh, mate. Fucking hell, that's a lot. I wouldn't pay that much.
Fucking hell, the lenses those cunts use on their cameras cost 10 grand.
Yeah, I know. Schmidt and Bender. The scopes we used to use or over there, 18 grand.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. They can cost up to, depending how far you want to look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A long way.
Or obviously because you knew you didn't do anything wrong, the trial wasn't a worry to you, but were you worried there was going to be some fuckery in it?
No.
No.
Not at all. I had really good legal representation. All the investigators were very transparent. And, yeah, just told the truth.
It's funny how they paint a picture on the articles.
Yeah, well, they got to sell the papers somehow, don't they?
They do.
So I remember on Facebook that when that incident happened, I messaged you straight away because I heard there was a story on the radio, contractor out there, something's happened. I messaged you straight away and go, "Oi, is this you?"
Yeah.
And a few days later, you go, "Nah, man, I'm alright, bro." And I did not hear from you for like months upon months.
Well, if you leave me alone, I will generally be quite happy just to be left alone.
Yeah, true.
Like,
yeah,
I'm a hermit. Like, I think the longest time that I've spent without ever leaving my house is 6 weeks.
Is that right?
Yeah, I love it.
6. I used to live in the Blue Mountains in Sydney at a resort.
Beautiful place.
But I lived inside the basin of the Blue Mountains. Emirates built a resort there called Walgan Valley.
Wow.
And the nearest town was an hour and a half away on this dirt road, like a fucking single lane road. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And it was Lithgow. That was the nearest town.
Oh, I've been to Lithgow. Yeah.
And it was a fucking amazing resort, like all nature. It was fucking beautiful. And I lost my license at the time, so I couldn't leave unless other people were going out. I spent 4 weeks in that valley one week, and I went fucking mental.
Did you?
Yeah, dude. I went because I need to see people and do shit.
I don't.
But I fucking was drinking every night, and I was like, "Who wants to get hammered?" And everyone's like, "We need to stop getting hammered." I'm like, "Well, what else are we gonna fucking do?"
Run, push-ups, heaves.
No way.
That's
I'm fucking 18 and full of piss and liquor. I want to fucking party.
Yeah,
let's get down.
Fair one.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like
So
I
did you?
I didn't even.
I was gonna say, did you miss out on like those 18 to 24-year-old moments? You know, because that's fucking prime time for a lot of partying, and
Nah,
you had different experiences, I guess.
Yeah, like obviously you do like minor. Sorry, to say Paul, but I think this is years ago. Minor arson and minor vandalism. That's what I did as a little shithead. And at uni, I was just at uni, just bored, playing footy and running. I was always trained, always ran, always went to the gym, always boxed, did taekwondo. I was never bored. And I've always just lived in my own head due to fucking being adopted by shithead Mckays.
What other interests did you have? Like, did you have any hobbies or any other avenues you like delved deep into?
Yeah, I'm a mad plane spotter. I wanted to be a fighter pilot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I can tell you each and every variant of the submarine Spitfire.
No shit.
Yeah. I wanted to be a World War II fighter race. If I could have been anything, that's what I would have picked.
Yeah,
because you are actually flying that aircraft. It's your body weight against the wires. And if
There's no electronic, there's no electronic intervention.
that's called fly-by-wire. But yeah, and, you know, when you got to go guns up, yeah, and they were called gentlemen aces, except some Nazis were fucking nasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I ever wanted to do, was to be a fighter
You
pilot.
never went into that avenue because?
Because I had to wear glasses. I cried as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, and I went, I can't be a fighter pilot.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you literally can't be a fighter pilot unless you have perfect 20/20 vision, isn't it?
That was back then.
No shit.
Yeah.
But now you can just...
Yeah. Well, I had laser eye surgery, so I used to wear
Does that
glasses.
work? Good?
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. What's the recovery like on it? Like that? Is it called LASIK? LASIK surgery?
Yeah, I'd LASIK, and because I was SF, they paid for it. Like, they paid for my mate's nose job. They'll pay for a sex change.
You think about it?
Being a sex change, yeah. I wouldn't mind guys hitting on me, having free drinks. That'd be pretty cool.
It wouldn't be a bad...
I can let my hair down.
A sex change these days, though, you just need to change your gender on your license and just wait.
Done.
Yeah.
You could be Sunisa.
Oh, that's a nice name, actually.
Yeah, it's a Thai restaurant down on Golfy Road.
Oh, right, yeah. There's a plug. Yeah.
Do they look after... I don't know, do vets get treated a lot better in Australia than they do America when they return home? Or is it much of a muchness?
It's a tight-knit community, and you got a lot of people with a lot of pride, and everyone just wants to... What I found about Aussie culture, not a lot of shit's out in the open. It's just ignore and override. That's what I found. Yeah. And it just spills out. And like, we're 27 million people, and we ran by a federal government with states.
Muppets.
Like, New York is run by one person, a mayor.
Yeah.
Their GDP is like 10 times greater in New York than what Australia punches out.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy when you think about the numbers, and especially when you think of numbers and land, because we're the same size as America. On a land mass, aren't
Yeah,
we?
but we don't have arable land.
Yeah, we don't have money producing land.
So what do you do with it?
Casinos.
Nuclear power stations.
Oh,
That's another topic line. I'm down for that.
nuclear power stations.
Yep.
And then storing the nuclear waste. Who the fuck goes out there? No one.
No one, but it's not. It's fucking. It depends though, because it's a lot of it's
Aboriginal lands.
Aboriginal land.
That is very true as well.
That's the thing.
Yes.
Because you got the Native American land in America, which they do what they will with it. They have their own jurisdictions and everything over there. But they built fucking casinos and do tax-free, they don't have tax laws and stuff.
No.
Do you know how I used to talk to the major power players when I used to do all the shit that I used to do over there in Iraq and Afghanistan? I went and talked and asked them, why doesn't the Australian government ask the people who own the land? Let's go, are you okay if we do this?
If we subsidise you phenomenally.
Let's just do some profit sharing. Why not?
It is crazy to think that Australia has just millions upon millions of kilometres of land.
Doing nothing.
That's just looking fucking... And no one's there.
No one's there.
No one's there. I've never been up the guts of Australia, but I've driven through like Perth and shit. And you drive for fucking...
Perth's a hole.
It's shithole. It's a shithole. I went to Perth last time properly. Was a few months ago. I went to the UFC.
Oh, wow.
And I watched Alexander Volkanovski defend his title against Islam Makhachev.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never properly experienced Perth. And I was there and I was like, fuck, it's so rough. It's fucking...
Bogan as?
No, it's just really rough. Like, we were... The first fucking 20 minutes of being there, we were like, oh, let's go to a bottle-o. We were 5 minutes out of the CBD. We walked to a sip and save. It looked like Hackham. And this was 5 minutes from the CBD in a nice hotel. Walked to a sip and save. Went to open the door of the fridge. It was locked.
Yeah.
And there's a security guard next to the fridge. He's like, you got to tell me what you want and pick it.
Wow.
Because as soon as I open that, those Aboriginals out there are going to walk in and they're going to steal everything.
Yeah, shit.
And I was like, okay. So they opened it, Aboriginals walked in, opened the fridge door, took what they wanted, left, and they're like, we can't do anything. Like, they'll just bash us.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
it's crazy. And then I went out that night, I was fucking loose. I was 2 a.m. by myself. I was on their version of Hindley Street.
Yeah.
I was just getting a year off, and I was sitting down and eating. There was a group of like maybe 25 Aboriginal kids from like 11 to 16, and I was just dozing off. I was just looking, and one of them like poked me, and he's like, what are you looking at? And I was like, nothing, mate. What are you looking at? And then I spotted this cunt because there was heaps of people down for the fight, so there was a lot of fighters in town.
I get you.
Yeah,
I can see what's going on.
And I was like, I seen this cunt, and he looked at me, and I was like, all right, we're in this together, mate. So you come sit down here with me. And we sat there for like 30 minutes. We were like, we're going to get into a massive fight. And they were like harassing everyone around them. They were like kicking random cars. And that was the first like 12 hours in Perth.
No shit.
Do you think that you had to be confrontational in that situation?
No, I didn't. No, I felt like I was going to get stabbed.
Because you could have just gone like, hey mate, poking's not the best way, but my name is Sav. Loving to meet you. What's your name?
I think past a certain point, when there's a 12-year-old out at fucking 2 a.m,
There's no negotiation.
I don't think there's any negotiation. I just think, and do you know what? It's not their fault because they've been brought up in fucking horrible circumstances, and fuck knows where their parents are and what's happened to them. So you can't blame the kids. Like, they're doing shit things, but you can't blame them because that's all they know. But it was just so confronting because like everyone says the South's a shit spot. The South's so safe.
Here,
Yeah.
this is the best place I've ever lived in my life.
Yeah, it's fucking
love it.
good.
They have everything down here.
Let everyone think it's shit.
Yeah,
Like, don't come
fucking
down
love it.
here.
Yeah, please.
During COVID, you all fucking moved down here and bought up all of our land in McLaren
Down the
Vale and
beaches.
shit and all the beaches. And
Plug
now
up to Commercial Road.
house prices here are fucking unaffordable now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. But we'll leave it there, I reckon. That was... I'm really happy you decided to come on.
Thank you for having me.
Whenever there is a
totally.
major event of war, I'm going to get you on to live
No,
commentator.
I'm no expert. No,
But
I'm the wrong person.
Thanks heaps for... Is there anything you want to say?
Just absolutely wonderful experience. Share this with you and meet you, so. And thank you very much for
And
the
yes,
invite.
thanks Eric for
And
hooking
please,
it up.
Everyone, go to Champion Takeaway, please.
Thank you.
But having said that, we've got a pork burger.
Why'd you do that?
I'd love to get some fish and chippies, but I've just got a burger on my mind for some reason.
You do?
Yeah.
I got some sushi in the fridge waiting for
See.
me.
That's
That's all right.
So you're going full 180 from fish and chippies straight to sushi.
Shop at Jetty Surf.
MB2, motherfucker. Down south represent.
MB2 coming at you.
Cheers, legends.
Cheers.
Thank
Thanks,
you.